try going to like what my standard offense is, and then a lot of times on defense, I think I struggle. Just like because like I do try fuzzy a bunch, but then like I also try to mix it up with like actually evading because obviously with Akira is so easy. You just like low key fuzzy everything you do. I don't know. I think I was kind of just like convoluting myself with a lot of things at once. So kind of just want to play a long set, get a feel for things.
I see. Excellent. I'm going to double check the audio really quick. Someone earlier had said that they couldn't hear my mic, and yeah, okay, our audio is good. All right, so audio is good now. Sorry about that. I'll double check later through the.
Very good.
Yeah, but anyways, no, that sounds good. So keep it up, and let's see what you got. We'll do a spar here. And do you prefer to be on the player one side?
I don't care.
Okay. All right. All right, so using evade, it's good. Very good.
Yeah.
That's something that I do. It's kind of unique to me. Not as many people play that aggressively on the opening, but I'm one of them. Very nice. I like that delay throw into the back throw. I don't know if it's intentional, but that's the net effect.
Honestly, I'll play my option a little bit.
I am gonna like usually make the opponent mix up how they wake up, so. Very nice. Very good.
I think for sure right now.
It's okay. You're just getting back on pace. And my game is really good at like provoking, so. But keep at it. Keep at it. I am my game is a bit mean, but you get used to it, and then it'll sharpen you. That said, it does tend to condition, so it doesn't mean that this is how you're supposed to fight everybody. It just means that this, like how to stabilize it. Nice. I like the use of PP. It's really good with the Kira, especially against like a lightweight. So this is back throw, just to let you know. Good. Okay. Yep. So what was I doing in that last round?
Oh yeah, no. just doing back throw hella. I wasn't LTing, and you knew I was gonna evade most of the time, so I was negative. So you kind of just committed to it.
Yeah. So I just blocked you and did it's simple. It's I blocked your dashing elbow, and then I would do back throw. Good. Very nice.
Yeah.
You'll get used to. You'll start finding a simpler answer that will like cover this. Nice fuzzy. That was good. Fuzzy was the answer to do after dashing elbow. You are doing well, but I'm just, let's see. Very good. Very good. Oh, they're just showing you how strong throw is against sidestepping.
Yeah.
Yes, Chronomad. Fuzzy guard is... There's two ways to fuzzy guard. The main way, the efficient way to do it is to crouch dash, which gets into the crouch state faster than manually crouching, actually. So crouch dash into a standing guard. That is the fuzzy guard technique. You can do it at up to -5. At -6, you cannot, it won't work against an immediate throw. But if they delay the throw, then it would work. But if they did like an immediate throw when they were +6, then fuzzy guard would not work. Now, technically, fuzzy guard is not just that technique. It's generally just means that you're crouching under potential throws and you're standing and guarding attacks which are slower than throws. So it's a timing play. It's an options like built on timing. And so you can do it in the neutral. It's just hard for a beginner to do it in the neutral. But when you get good at it, you can start kind of doing it in the neutral, or at least move in a way that reduces your exposure to throw, while still being able to guard a lot of attacks. Very nice. Nice. So the core mix-up of this game is actually, and again, by core I mean that there's many ways you can mix up, but the real core mix-up is attack versus throw, and the attack really specifically meaning mid attack, and that's because mid attacks don't get crushed, so you have less exposure to being out hit. And if you have advantage when you're using your mid attack, then your advantage is making sure that your attack should be winning against them trying to attack. And so that's why we do like this elbow as being our fastest attack usually. And Akira having a really special one because it covers ground and is and effectively the best elbow in the game. So the big risk here is if I escape this throw, you don't want me to sidekick you. So there's 3 ways to deal with that. The main way is to guard. Okay, so just know that you're the one at the disadvantage after I escape your throw. That particular throw.
It puts you in side turn, but
it puts you in side turn, and Leon can combo you if he counter hits you or crouch hits you with that sidekick. So Leon is going for a combo It's just a standing combo. So again, method number 1 is guard. Method number 2 is to evade it, but you got to know which way to evade Leon's sidekick, and that is the normal way to against Leon, which is his back, or to where his front foot is. So you see where my front foot is? Just stare at that front foot. That's what you evade, to avoid the sidekick anyways. And this is the combo there. And you'll notice it's a lot of damage, and I still get to put pressure on you. It's very scary, because it's a combo that doesn't knock down. And it's like, so this is what Leon is very strong with, is if he can counter hit you or crouch hit you from the side with that side kick, he gets like a lot. Now this is not guaranteed, but that's a lot of pressure. Very good. You evaded the correct way that way. And then that's the guaranteed combo there. So this is, you can see the sidekick purple hit, that guarantees the PKP for sure. Now this is blue, so it's only recovery hit. And I don't get the guaranteed PKP on the recovery hit. This was a fuzzy into an attack when I realized that I was ducking a high attack. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Nice. Good.
Can't she bop right for me?
Yeah. No, you're doing well though, and you're looking for solutions, and you got more proactive as you went on. When you see that, when you realize that I'm testing your offense. So.
I can tell you're just trying to drill me.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Yeah, but take it just as seriously, but at the same time, use it to your advantage when I'm doing that. Like, it's not me belittling you. It's us working together to kind of build a more consistent result. Chronomad, thanks. I appreciate that comment, and yeah, I do like the way that the system works in VF. I know that it's less intuitive than how people might intuit right away, but I think functionally it allows you to make clean decisions because of the logic. It is good use of 3P by the way. Dashing elbow, 3P, Yoho, they're all good that you're using. So I do like the moves that I'm seeing from you. I might switch to Akira right after this game. And I do like that you use less 4-6 You're using it in a good spot, but I think when we first started playing, you were doing it too much, and this low punch would always hit you because of that. But now you're picking your moments on when you do it, and that might be instinct, but that's what you're doing, and it's good. Very nice.
Yo, please.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
But it was a good idea though, and you almost got it. It's hard to do. It's hard to do under pressure. So even if you can do it in training mode, it's a really hard thing to do when someone's pressuring you like a lot, and that'll be part of your self-assessment in your matches. So you notice I'll mostly use back throw during our training today. And that's the kind of training on that direction, but I'll tell you if I switch. Now, I'm not the best at holding that discipline because a lot of times my instincts will take over. and my instinct will just tell me to do the other throw. So I have to fight my instincts on that, because my instincts are gonna go for the throw that thinks it's gonna work, and so. All right, I'm gonna go back to the room. We'll do some. I'm gonna play Kira, because I found that it's helpful to do the mirror match, even if some people hate the mirror match, but in my experience, it really helps. Especially when a player like me who doesn't normally play Akira is going to play like kind of a dumbed down version of Akira, but I think my dumbed down Akira is fun. Like, I'm happy with my so-called dumbed down Akira. So, all right, this is going to be a regular spar, so fight as you will. I'll try to use back throws though. Nice. That was nice. Very good. That's a good ring out. Going for the instant win is a good thing to do in this game. Nice. You see this low punch led into that stashing elbow. Like when I did the low punch, I already hit forward, and I just waited to watch before hitting punch. Like this. Good. Good. Good punish.
I probably could have done Yoho there, but it's fine.
See here. Good. Good. So when someone's being very defensive, those are the good moments for the guard break, but it's tricky. Very nice. Nice. Very nice. Do you know how I'm flow charting off of this high punch?
Oh yeah, jab, elbow, because realistically, even
I'm just doing like so I do like jab, forward, and then if I see like it hits, then I'll hit punch and forward. But if I don't, then I'll just guard or crouch dash into guard. So I'll be like, like this. So, but generally speaking, I can do this. Actually, it's free as long as this makes contact. So as long as this jab touches, you get to do like the dashing elbow. But you have to. It's hard, but you get used to pre-buffering it. I forgot what kind of control you're using.
Mine leverless.
Okay, it can be taxing at first to get used to this, but once you kind of build the muscle memory, especially against the AI, it's pretty strong. Whether you do it off of low punch like this, right? And then later on, you can change that forward into like a back forward throw, right? Or have to go back throw. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like the issue itself for me isn't like the buffering of it. It's more just like I have a really hard time trying to like hit confirm it. It's like initially because like it's how fast it is. Because like
it is hard.
It's not like there's like a lot of hit stop in this game. Like if you hit someone, it's like all right, you hit them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like there's like a free stream or anything. So like hit confirm this game feels way harder for me.
It is way harder. You're correct. So it's way harder because the game has less hits done. So the thing is then is that of course on this jab it's an extreme example. But what I will say is this: to simplify it though, when it comes to the high punch, it's different than the low punch. So this is like -5 on block.
Yeah.
But this is +2 on block. And because of the way dashing elbow is built, you can do it off a high punch really well, right? Like you're just like, as long as this jab touches, or as long as I think it's going to touch, then we're fine. But if I think I'm going to get interrupt, or I think they're just going to, even if they block it, right? So if you like go ahead and do it, I'm going to try to low punch after blocking, right? I'm going to lose, right? And that's why you can pre-commit to this one. And so you're only worried if it whiffs. You're really only watching to see if this whiffs. And that's hard. But if they evade, you can still do it. So that's the crazy thing. So like if they evade, you can still do it. So like I'll do 2 jabs in a row into dashing elbow, right? So block the first one, then evade the second one, and then try to attack the third, okay? Right, and that was because I did the wrong move. Right? It's really hard to punish this. So what it means is that even if they sidestep this high jab, this dashing elbow is usually decent. Not always, but it usually is. Yeah. So getting used to just building this as like, this is your 1-2. This is Akira's 1-2. Like, yes, for beginners, we do teach this one, but ultimately, like, if you can start doing this one and just get the feel of it in your hands, especially against the AI, it's very strong. And yes, it might open you up at first because you're doing a lot of high punch, so they'll be weak to like low punch mashing, right? But here's the thing: eventually, when you start seeing this, if you start seeing this low punch coming while you're doing this, it just becomes you learn that like, oh, here comes the low punch, so I'll just fuzzy guard right now because I just see I'm about to get interrupted. That is hard to do. I'm not saying you got to do that right now. I'm just illustrating to you like how scary Akira's pressure is with this kind of thing. But this one is more of like, as long as this touches, whether they guard, whether they get hit, whether they get counter hit, same, right? That's a simplified flow chart. So the only thing you're worried about is like them ducking or them mashing a low punch, right?
Yeah.
So like that, yeah. But more like what I'm ingraining is that pre-buffering the forward. Just like that's like you're committed to doing that because you can still do this off of it, right? You can do like forward, back forward throw. You can do like forward, back forward punch, forward, back forward punch and kick, right? Now another one is if you want to crack an opponent, especially opponents more at the level you're likely to play, this move, 3P plus K, is really good at cracking people open.
Yeah.
It's a low, but not only that, if you hit with it, try to low punch after getting hit by it, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, this shit is mad pull. Oh, do you want... Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad plus. It's like... I think it's like +7?
It's like +7, which means this is doable. Which means this will beat like any attack, unless they're playing like... Unless they're like 11-frame jab. Like, unless they use an 11-frame attack or a 10-frame attack, this, you know, back forward moves, both of them, either direction, will win against any attack except for really fast ones. And because they're kind of like, I think they're two-handed attacks, so I don't think they can even be sabaki'd. So it's a really good one. It's a very scary pressure that you get, and it will test to see if the opponent... Now, of course, if the opponent is starting to block it, you worry. But if they're not, like that, right? So you can go ahead and do it to me, and I'll try to low punch. Yeah, see? Yep. And this is a lot of pressure.
Side turn shit.
Yeah. Now with side turn, you can start it simple. So like if you side turn them, so like you know that if this gets blocked, you just fuzzy guard. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the flow chart. But also if you hit, just do a dashing elbow. It's pretty strong. And if you hit them with the dashing elbow on the side, just do like the back forward game again. You know, so like you're like this, then you hit them, then you can do this again. You know.
Yeah.
So it's one of the, it's like this is a starting point. Eventually.
Yeah.
But when in doubt, just the dashing elbow would be fine too.
Yeah. I've been trying to get better at like actually like getting inside shit, especially considering like a lot of people play against, they do tend to just like notice like he is low-key just doing elbow. So like I've been trying to get better like actually doing it. So like, in terms of like actually structuring my offense. So like a lot of times like I kind of like autopilot into just like boom, boom, but like mixing up with like that, and then from there they have to like deal with side turn shit.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about the autopilot. Like, just build it in, but then just build different variations to override the autopilot. So just being able to free wheel, because the more you're able to free wheel it, the more you'll be able to, the more you'll loosen up and be able to kind of do different stuff instead of just the one thing. Being obsessed with the one thing is the hard one, but if you can let yourself play the different variations, it becomes a lot easier. Especially like in a mode like World Stage. All right, so Sir Hixlot says, I don't know of any sabakis that work on two-handed attacks. It's true. Two-handed attacks generally are not sabakiable. That's what makes them so scary. They can be reversed by Aoi, and that's it. Even Akira cannot reverse them, right? So like, watch this. I want you to, I'm going to do low punch. You're going to block it. After you block it, or actually after you block the side kick, I want you to do like back forward P plus K, okay?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like that, okay? So you're going to do that, and I'm going to try to reverse it. Not going to work, right? And try the other one. We should test the other one, too. Yeah, see? I can't reverse it. Oh, I can reverse that one. Okay, but I can't reverse the back forward P plus K. I have to delay a little bit, but I can't reverse that one. I can reverse the other one, though. So if you try back forward all three, I think that one can be reversed. Because it's a single arm attack. Yeah. So like I can reverse the single arm attack, but not the double hand attack.
They get that.
Yep. Very good. Alright, let's fight. So this drill, so the way we're gonna fight is I am gonna target trying to throw you with back throw like a lot, okay? So I want you to just be ready for it and just understand when, yeah, and attacking is a very good way to deal with it. So attacking is an awesome way to deal with it. But I want you to know I'm gonna try to go for it a lot. So this is gonna be to train you on that guard throw escape or on the attack if you know it's happening, okay? I will mix it up, but I want you to just kind of, this drill that we're doing right now has been one way that I force people to realize how much they're not doing the throw escape. Like they'll think it's because they messed it up. And I'm like, it's because you're just not doing it. Like it's not an automatic thing in your game yet. It's not something that you do when you're in trouble, which is like the first thing you should do when you're in trouble, right? So. Good. Very good. That was a great sequence. Very good stagger break. That was an awesome stagger break. That was good patience. Good way to punish shoulder.
Nah.
Sorry, wrong throw. You're doing great. Now you've got these throw escapes going off, and you're also attacking too, so you're doing both. You're doing very good, though. That was very good. So, Sir Hixalot, how are you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Wishing you good luck. Texas Showdown is coming up very soon, right? Is it next week? Is it this week? So Chronomed asks a good question. Minus the directional mix, obviously, do you think grabs are reactable? Not really. Generally speaking, actual reactionable is about 18 frames, to be honest. It's really hard to go faster than that as a human. Now we're primed, so we look for certain clues, and those are the things that usually tell us. But with throwing, it's more like it's not that you could react to them. However, what is reactionable is to recovery hit them. So punishing them on recovery hit is, and sometimes hitting a button is okay. That was really good. See the awesome use of dashing elbow. That one got you a whole third of my life. It's really good. Very good. Hey Tenku Man, good to see you. I like that you're evading that direction a lot, so. That was an intense round, though. That was a really intense round. Keep it up. You're doing great. Your brain is active on this speed right now. Sorry, that was instinct taking over on the throw. Yeah, it is. It's the throw is more of a read, but I'll show you how it's covered. It's covered at the higher level. It's covered by the interval of like delay attack, and so delay attack will kind of cover it as making it like really discourage the opponent from doing throw. But that's if they're watching, right? When we're playing this extended neutral. But then again, you can always force guess. And the important thing to know, though, is you can force guess both ways. You can force guessing by putting yourself in Nitaku. And that's more of an advanced concept, but it's really important to understand that sometimes that's what's happening, you know. So like in Akira, you know, doing this, well, he can fuzzy, so he's not putting himself in Nitaku, but that's so scary, right? A lot of opponents just throw a sidekick, even though you're going to block it, at least they get you in the guessing game. And now we're not in the watching game anymore. We're in the guessing game. And so that's what I'm talking about force guessing, is you can force guess from minus, you can force guess in plus, either way. So as a beginner, most people are like, okay, I got a counter hit to force a guess. And it's like, or I got to block something big. It's like, you can actually put yourself in minus if you're comfortable playing the reverse side of the guessing game. But to play the reverse side guessing game means either you're good at crushing, good at sabaki, or good at reading when they're going to throw. Good. Good stagger break. I like your stagger breaks, by the way.
Oh, what the fuck? No, where's the DLC? Oh.
Sorry. Wrong throw again.
It's fine. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Very nice. I'll show you another game too. This is a game I've talked about in the Discord, but I'll show it here. So I'll tell you what that game is. That game is using this low kick. Now here's the truth about this low kick. I'm minus when I hit you with that.
Yeah.
So you want to build an instinct to do a dashing elbow there, or 3P is fine. But basically something that just tells the opponent to stop. And then you can force guessing game there. Now once you do that, that does open up my game to doing another type of play. And so we're going to cover this because this is another way to crack opponents. Is how to use minus on hit moves. Right, like this. So now that you're attacking, it's good. While you were not attacking, then it's the thing for me to do was to treat it like it's plus. Because even though I know that if you're not acting like it's plus, then I just treat it like it's plus. I mean, if you're not acting like it's minus, right? And so it's important to watch what your opponent does, but this is also the key to understanding how to use low attacks in this game. So then, and it becomes a basis for reading as well. So these low attacks are a way to read your opponent too. Very good. Like this should not be working, right? Very good, very good. Yeah, we're just this is how we do training. You know, it's a lot of fun. I've been doing a lot of training a lot of Akira players in my region, so it's been a lot of fun. Dashing elbow is like the most annoying move in the game.
Yeah, offense is fucked up.
Well, your offense been good once you get it going. It's been scary, you know. Keep it up. This 1K is definitely messing with you. But I think you can see why though, at least, even if you're having trouble responding to it, because sidestepping you can't do because you're plus. So you're plus, so sidestepping becomes bad. So if you get hit by this and you sidestep, you're in trouble. You're gonna just automatically get hurt. So you don't want to sidestep after getting hit by it, or even blocking it, right? So just know that you're playing a conventional game and you're the one that's plus because I'm doing this. Yeah. But the problem is that's the problem with the high attack, right? High attack's not gonna cut it. If I do this, high attack will not cut it. You get hit with this, you dashing elbow, or you 3P. 3P if you don't feel like you got the dashing elbow. But right now you're preoccupied with wanting to block it, and that's the problem. You don't want to be preoccupied with blocking low attacks. What I'm trying to get across here is this. Watch how much damage this 1K is. This 1K is this much, right? Now watch, take like low punch me twice in a row. Right? But you see that counter hit? Not much damage, right? So you can take this hit, but you should use the advantage it's giving you, because all I'm doing is chipping. You should only, basically, this should just be a chip, right? And so to start with, you should just not hesitate dashing elbow until I do stuff like evade throw, right?
Okay.
But that's the next step. But don't worry about layer 2 unless you've got layer 1 covered. So layer 1, you dashing elbow after you get hit by this thing, even if you get counter hit. So even if you get counter hit by this, like I think you're in trouble. Like, I'm still minus, right? So even if you counter hit, even if I counter hit you with the low kick, I think I'm still quite a bit minus. So, and most low kicks are kind of like this. So you want to understand, like, this is like something that you can stop, but it does take a while. There you go. So you can do it with 6 XP, but if you're not feeling 6 XP, you got to performance assess, and you got to go, hey, I'm not sharp enough to do the 6 XP, so I'm just going to do 3P, if that's what you got to do. So if you got a 3P, do 3P, but one of those two are really good, and then we can play the game after you're consistently doing that, because this thing is it is my to disadvantage. I should only be getting a little bit for this. Yeah, good. Yep. And so in a match, as we fight this, I am going to use this to annoy you, and just like, you know, you hit me 3 times in a row with dashing elbow, right? So this is that's good. You're seeing the value of that move and how scary it is. And that, like, if the opponent doesn't get it, you get to keep doing it, right? Very good. So that was one of the punishes for it, was to actually evade that low kick, and then you can do a mid right away. And you know it's going to crouch it too, which is pretty cool for some characters like Leon. Now in this case, it's a little different because I did it from the side. So your instinct probably told you that too. Very nice. You see, you use low kick into evade. You played the layer 2 game against me, right? Now you're seeing why low kick into evade is really strong. Just like that, right? Very good. That was good. So I probably made this session a little more frustrating, but I think you're doing very well, and I think you're progressing, actually. So
That's fine.
I don't know how you feel.
Trial by fire works every time.
Yeah, well, with Akira, you want to feel this pace. I think the reason Akira versus Akira mirror is also good is so you can feel the pace that you're allowed to do to the opponent.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Good. Now that side is of course a little different, but it's not too different. You can actually still fight. Nice guard break. You're like, he's gonna fuzzy after this. I'm gonna guard break. That was really good. So now you're seeing how to use this low kick too. And it does add to your arsenal because yes, lows they're not amazing, but lows, well, Akira's lows are actually pretty good, but they're useful. They're all useful. It doesn't mean they're useless because they're not amazing. They're super useful. But they're useful for just the opposite reasons. Such a fun combo to do. Do you know how I'm doing this combo?
Fucking evade 4-6 BKG?
Yeah. But do you know how I'm setting up? No, it's a hard one to set up, but it's the foot position. Like, are you able to identify closed stance versus open stance yet?
I'll say yeah.
What stance are we in?
You're in open right now.
Nope.
Wait, you're not?
No, it's the two stances together. Your stance plus my stance is how we determine open and closed stance.
Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, we're closed right now, and then...
So then now which one are we?
If I do the... Yeah, and then...
So this is closed?
We're still closed.
Yeah. And then this is open.
Yeah.
And then you can change it too, so you go ahead and change it. So yeah. Dashing elbow, same. Yeah. Right? So close, super dashing elbow switches it. So... But why that only matters, I mean, this is advanced, this is a little ahead, but it doesn't, like, it's not something for you to worry about at this point. But I'm just saying that that's how I'm dictating how to force you into back turn is but that's more advanced. That's when you're comfortable with seeing open and closed stance. But the gist of it is this. So right now, if we're looking at this with Akira, and this is based on the attack. So this is Akira's back forward, specific to his back forward all three, okay? If it was a different move, it could follow different rules. So right now we're in open stance. So when we're in okay, so now we're in closed stance. When we're in closed stance, I want to evade to your front and then do it. Or even offensive move. So I do like this into it, right? So I'd be like this would force you. So if we take the hit, now we're in open stance, it's the opposite. Open stance goes to the back. Like that. So you don't have to know this now. I'm just telling you for your information so you know what's going on there. But all you really care about is kind of what you do with Akira anyways, which is, and you're doing it already. Against Akira, generally you should evade to his backside or where his front foot is. And then, but when he's predictable on this particular move, you evade to this one is evade to front, or you just don't, you just beat it. But the thing is that this is the one move he has that goes the other direction, really. That's like a big threat to you. But everything else is like to his back. Almost everything else. Do you know the rule or the tip that I give though, which is to evade to the back is actually the front foot. So if you're looking at my front foot, just go ahead and show evading to the back. Okay, I did this move, show evading to the back. Okay, I do this move, show evading to the back, correct. So if you stare at that front foot, that's kind of your guide against like Akira, except when you think he's gonna do this move. But and that works against everyone. Like the front foot is a good way to look at it. Eventually, and you can practice that against CPU. because that puts control over your opponent. Most people would like to evade up only because the technique is easier, and some people like to do evade down only because the technique is easier. When you do that, with the way this game works though, you're giving your opponent control. You're giving them influence. They have the influence because now they can choose which way they face and go, I want to hit with this move. Okay, well, I know that this one is if they evade to my back. So I'm just going to, if they evade up, I want my back to face up. If they like evading down, I want my back to face down. And I can do this move. Yeah. Right? But if you evade based on their front or their back, now I have to think about which moves. Now I have a whole set of moves that I should not do until you're not doing that, or until I think it's going to hit you for different reasons, but not because you're sidestepping, right? And so if you evade based on front or back, you exert control over the matchup. If you evade based on strictly up or down and don't change, you give your opponent the opportunity to take control of the match. So, yeah. Very good. Very good. Oh no. This is like the most whiffing I've ever seen Akira do. For both of us. I whiffed the combo too. Hey, Kunjun, hope you're doing good. We're having fun with this session. It's a good session. Very good punish. I forced you front side this time. So I was doing reversal throw escapes. So hey Princess, hope you're doing good. How are you doing today? How's the weather over there? I assume you're in Japan? Yeah, Taekwondo is based on kicks, they're comfortable switching stances. And I think a lot of times, yeah, getting good with both legs. Nice. Very good. I like your patience. I'm sorry you can't use your PC today right now. Very good. That was really good. Excellent. So this is delay throw. So I did this 3P into a crouch dash into a throw. Yeah. So similar to how with the jab, as long as it connects, you can do dashing elbow. With elbows in general, dashing elbow and 3P, you can almost always just crouch dash and then do something after that. So like, because crouch dash is a fuzzy guard as well, and then you can also choose to attack when you realize you hit them. So you can actually hit confirm late when it comes to that type of a flowchart. It's hard. It's still very hard. But I'm just giving you ideas on how to streamline a flowchart to be very obnoxious with the Kira. Nice. Very nice. I like the way that you're dealing with whiff too. You're doing a delayed attack to deal with whiff, which is actually really good. It's like instinctual, but it's really good. Boom, 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 boom. Very good. Very good. I like that choice very much. Same sequence. Using the pluses that to confuse you. I'm trying to use the pluses to confuse you. Fighting really, really well though, giving me a lot of trouble. I don't know. You can tell me how it feels after the set.
That's fine. It's just like, no, I'm just thinking about shit. There's a lot of stuff to try like keep in, or like try to like keep track of.
I'll let you keep thinking, so don't worry. We can... Good. Use the advantage. Beautiful. That was really funny.
I was like, I blocked out. I was like, wait.
I'm glad to hear that the weather's nice and warm for you, Princess. My day's going pretty well. How are you feeling? What are you?
I think honestly, right now, it's like I am in real time getting an idea how I want to parse my offense better.
Good.
So that's one thing. I think a lot of it is like, especially just like being kind of content with, like, because I think a lot of times I expect a response from people
Yeah.
way too fast.
Right.
Especially considering it gets a lot of people like here, they get really evade happy.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times I tend to psych myself out because one of those things where it's like, yeah, if shit's just working, I probably should just do it. And the main thing is like realistically, if my elbow gets evaded, obviously I am in a position where I am susceptible for like a mix-up, or yours plus, so you get advantage. But I think I should be willing to be okay with that in a sense, and then eventually try to leave more stuff in rather than just being like, okay, I did my elbow, it hit, fuck, what are we gonna do now? You know, immediately you can just like not like panic on it, just try to like be content, let the interactions happen, and then actually like parse something, because like it's kind of fucked up in a way. I generally was like, all right, I'm gonna try to start thinking a little bit less, just kind of let things flow naturally.
That's the way to play VF. So
it's like it's just like do my things. If I need to, like, if a reaction is required of me, then I will.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't really feel like I have a reason to. A lot of times, I feel like I'm just fucking myself up.
In this game, you have to let yourself flow. So you do your studying, and that's where your thinking is done. And then in the match, you kind of have to let yourself go a little bit. But the things you can learn to adjust, you learn how to adjust. And you learn how to understand that when what you're doing is conditioning your opponent, or if it's not. Right? So we call that, is my opponent thinking about me? That's whether and it's very simple. Are the things that I'm doing changing their plan, making them think? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is no. And if the answer is no, it's actually pretty simple what you do then, because you use your knowledge of the game to understand what the answer is then. Like, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. So now it's a matter of beating what they're doing, even if it's over and over, and not worrying about when they change up, except for when they actually do it. And then you want to understand the concept of profit. Okay. So if you successfully do something to somebody 3 times in a row, like your dashing elbows, right? It's on me to turn that situation around. And I have to turn that situation around with either a really good combo or with like 3 dashing elbows to even it up.
Yeah.
So you're ahead. So you don't have to feel pressured on that, and you're not the one that's pressured to change. But you can definitely look as you get, with your experience in Melty Blood and as you gain experience in VF, you kind of start to look for signs that your opponent is going to do that change, and then you can act on those things. But
I think it is a lot harder to parse in this game for me personally.
Yes,
because like in Melty for me, it's like the way I like to describe Melty. Like, because I was like talking to Harpooner about this. It's like I think one of my big struggles with this game in general is like it is naturally very fast, but the problem is that it feels a lot of times like you do have instance guaranteed states where it's like, yeah, you're plus or like you're minus or blah 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 things of that. It's like it feels hard to like maintain what I call a consistent win con. Because like in Melty Blood, like the whole thing for me is like, okay, I did my B&B, I got a knockdown, I do like a real meaty, there's block string, and there's obviously interaction during all that. Yeah. They can do like Wake Up Shield, which like beats like meaty 5A.
Right.
They can do like a reversal, they can do like backdash, things like that. But I generally have things to cover, and I kind of can like play off of very slight info to get an idea. And also I play character with like, doesn't need that many interactions and can also take a beating, so I can kind of play around that more and make like my reads feel more impactful. The thing with this game is like, even small wins are really important.
Yeah, like, they add up. They add up.
I think it makes they add up really fast. Like, Melting, I feel like is a game where like you can't. It's very rare you are winning directly off of straight hits all the time, especially considering
this game you win on straight hits.
That game could be very messed up in that game where like 2 interactions, I'm basically winning, and you have to hit me like 6 times depending on like the character you play.
Right.
Like the interactions that like apply.
But in this game,
like, you can regain health in Melty. There's like you can literally, if you're about to get timed out, some moons in that game or mechanics can press a button that makes them do more damage, take less damage, regain health, and freeze the timer. So like, there's a lot of things that kind of like allow me to be like, okay, I can relax, I can figure out what's going on. In this game, I can't. Yeah. I gotta like slam my nuts on a table, it feels like at all times. Even if I want to play a bit slow, I still have to actively be a lot more active than just rather being passive. Right.
This game's... The way of being passive defensive in this game is actually fuzzy guarding. Is like guard throw escape well, guessing, knowing which throw they're gonna do. That's hard. This game, your opponent can always come back on you, and you can always come back on your opponent. This game, momentum exists, but it doesn't dictate. It doesn't dominate. It's like, because this game is a rock, paper, scissors game. It's rapid fire rock, paper, scissors, but it's happening like a lot. And the important thing and this is how I'll put it, but it's similar to what you were saying. It's very much like what you said at the beginning, but I'll put it in different words. In this game, you can't really checkmate your opponent. Yeah. Like, you can pressure them. You can set up the win condition. Absolutely. Ring out's huge. Wall's huge. They can always fight back in this game. And so you have to resort to risk and reward and your comfort level on that risk and reward. It doesn't mean risk is bad, I don't do it, and reward is good, I go for it. It's not like that. It's like, I'm going for this reward because I think the risk is worth it. And I think the risk is actually low here, so I'm going to apply it more. But this other time, maybe the risk is higher, but what's overriding that risk is my belief that I think I know exactly what they're going to do. They've been playing in a way that's telling me what they're going to do. Everything they're doing is showing me their intention. I don't think they're trying to pull one on me. I think they're really going to go for that thing. So I'm going to punish that. And it is risky, but I have the read, and I'm going to go with the read if I'm that certain that that's what they're going to do. And so that's why we talk about risk and reward. A lot of people, when they're developing in fighting games, are looking at risk and reward in absolutes, in black and white.
Yeah.
So they're like, risky, bad. Safe is good. The thing is that in this game, everything is actually punishable. Everything is, right? If you and I are standing at like outside of jab range or outside of, well, nowadays it's not the same because jab steps forward, but even then, jab can be whiff punished, jab could be crushed, right? It does carry a risk, you know, and that's why, you know, if your opponent, so what happens is it's the communication to the player, right? So it's like, okay, if I'm doing this, what do you think is probably the really strongest plans against this? Yeah, that's one way. But just go in and crouch dash into into a shoulder if you want. It's pretty good, right? And then, or wait for me to whiff and then do a launcher. So here's what I'll show you. You go ahead and do it. You keep doing it. Right? That's one way, but hold on. That's a really good way. 6 KP, right? Try to block it. After you do PK, so after you do PK, try to block it, okay? Were you able to block that?
No.
Right. So this thing on recovery hit, this can launch. Right? This is just too late. So I have to commit a little early, but I have a huge combo. I just don't play Akira, so I don't know my combos. Similarly, this is the low punish this is like the beginner's low punish. I know everybody wants to do this for combo, and if you can do it, do this. If you can do the knee, do the knee, right? If you can do the knee, do the knee. But if you watch the global finals, Gentleman Thief actually had good matches against the best of the best, right? And he was doing 6 KP. Right? A few people that I've taught, that I've been training, like I train you, I'm not an Akira player, but I've trained people. They actually did ask me, like, why do you recommend, or like, I always wonder why you recommend 6 KP, like 6K, right? Into this, right? And I'm like, this is just a very, very easy punish when like you block like a sweep, like a character with a sweep, you block that, you can do this. It's guaranteed combo. And the combos are not hard to do. It's up to your comfort zone, right? Whether you do this or whether you do 6KK, whatever. But this move, and then you watch Gentleman Thief in the global finals, he was nailing strong, like some of the world's best players by this move. Because it's not the fastest, but at least if he knows that he got the whiff punish, like for sure he's got it, then he can do this, but you do have to be a little early, right? But then, yeah, if you're good, you know, you can do this. If you're good, you can do like knee, you know, which I'm not consistent at, right? Right? So, but this is a very easy forward and kick, very easy input, right? Right? And so if you master this, when you see somebody, like, so you practice it, but you're gonna have to do it early. That's the hard part. And so Akira is not really the character you do this against much. Jackie is the character you do this against, by the way. So Jackie is a character you want to do something like this against. The hard part is having to go to neutral. So like letting go down so that you get the neutral into 6K. Because I think if you quarter circle forward, you don't get the 6K. You get like standing kick. If you do quarter circle forward, you're gonna get standing kick. Weird quirk, but it helps Jackie because that's how Jackie can do his hold forward kick. You know, like quickly. It's by doing a fireball. But in this game, it's like let go of the button and tap forward and kick at the same time. Right? Yeah. So getting used to that. So I'll do this over your head. Like, you'll get used to it, but it is early, though. That's hard. And it's true, but if we were playing... It's because we're playing Akira that this is kind of awkward drill. But I just wanted to illustrate that this is a good duck and punish move once you get used to it. Because once you start fuzzy guarding, eventually you start seeing the high attack, and then you're just like, oh, okay, like this.
Yeah.
Right. So even if I did that, I think you can probably 6KP that, but it's hard. Probably not. If I did the 1P, you should definitely, but it's scary. That's like too scary to do though. This one is too scary. That's not 6KP though, that's K plus G. Yeah, June from Thailand says 6KP is really good way to practice blue counter punish. So blue counter means recovery hit. In the official language, they'll say recovery counter hit. I just call it recovery hit because I think it's not necessary to say the counter part. Because counter hit for me is always the interrupt, you know, but is the red spark. but recovery counter hit, I'm like, you can just say recovery hit. So there you go. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. And so eventually, this is a really strong way if you can punish like ducking under highs and punish. Now, ducking under high and punish is that's a skill that people develop after months of playing. So it's okay if you're not doing it right away. I just want you to be aware of it. But if you're not comfortable with it, you just PK punish, right?
Yeah, PK.
And then once you mastered the PK. Now, if you really want to do, I think the motion's too complicated. If you want to do standing palm, you do back forward punch, like this. Yeah, but the problem is you gotta do back forward punch, right? Because otherwise you get this. So.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to do, and so I think that motion is too complicated. So like just doing. Now that said, here's a fun one. You want to see something cool?
Yeah, sure.
This is really good with fuzzy guard, but stand here. Come to me. Duck. After I whiff this PK, I want you to just do kick. Just kick by itself. But you gotta be really close to me to do this, okay?
Okay.
Neutral kick. Yeah. It wall splats.
Oh,
yeah, so on recovery hit, Akira's kick, wall splats. So if you fuzzy guard, you can like do this, and then bam, like you get a wall combo. So like in this case, you get to follow up with core circle back punch.
Yeah, I think route I can do.
Yeah. So like again, if you've pressed them against the wall, fuzzy guard into that is really good, but at some point they're going to stop doing high attacks when their back is against the wall. But it's really fun. And it could work against throw too, but you have to pretty much commit to it. But there is a technique for it, but let's master fuzzy guard before we go into and before we go to advanced versions of it.
You do. I think hard told me you do like 3-3G, and then you like cover that.
Well, it's what you did is the guard you just tap. And then you do the move right after. So it'd be like this, so I'll show it to you. So block and then throw. I'm not doing it right. Right, like that. And if I do it right, you then if you do attack, like my block will stop me from doing this kick. So.
Yeah.
Right. But your delay attack is good because your delay attack beats. So the reason I don't like to teach beginners fuzzy guard attack is because delay attack will beat it and slow attack will beat it. So, it's one of those where it's like that because it's like. Yep. But anyways, so go ahead and guard, right? So guard and then counterattack, basically. And then if you try to throw... so yeah.
You get smoked.
Right. And so this is me doing fuzzy guard and then tap guard and tap kick right away after that, like guard kick really fast. So you can kind of hear it. You can see it on my screen where it's like I'll do like a dashing elbow into like this. But the timing's tricky. You have to practice it. But yeah. But again, fuzzy guard attack loses to delay attack. It loses to very slow attack, like badly. And so someone, Akira can just do like 333p and like launch someone for doing it. It's just or like this because they'll just like like this. So it's like the crouch dash into this will beat it. Yeah. All right, let's spar. Very good. I like that. Well played. Well played. That was an awesome round.
That's a McCoy.
So Princess Fluff asks, how does it feel for you to be a teacher of the game? Well, I love the game, and teaching is part of me trying to encourage more people to play. So the challenge is to try to the challenge is trying not to be discouraging while you do it. And it can be very easy to discourage people even when you're trying to teach. And so that's a hard balance, right? But I really do, well, I love teaching because I love sharing. And so I see teaching as sharing. And so the goal is not to try to act superior. Like when people do something better than you, I do try to give credit for that. And I try to be encouraging. But I also want them to also take it seriously too. And ultimately you want them to learn the lesson. So it's always a balance. And I think it's a fun way to learn about people though. I think it's a fun way to observe people and to try to do your best to work with them. So I enjoy the process of teaching, mainly because it's just as an active form of sharing. So I hope that answer is okay. You can let me know if that answer makes sense. Well, it's guaranteed. This is only 14 frames, so you're like minus 20 something.
Oh no, it's not even that. I didn't want to touch the Zaka. I was trying to do 66 PK. Okay, my bad.
It's too much fun to do this move.
Oh, no, it's actually like the dopamine receptor.
Yeah. I see. This move is just too much fun to do. Like, I love that you can buffer it off of so many things. And if you buffer it off stuff, you can just try to do like a running body check. Like this. It's too much fun. It's stupid fun, but it's fun. It's like, this is Akira. The hard part about playing Akira for me is getting Akira brained after. So like, I'll play like Leon and I'll be doing 6xp like crazy. But it feels really fun playing Akira. Like, he's really like, when you understand the game well, he's ridiculously fun to play. Like, because it's weird that you have to get... Tengu Man talked about this in the Discord, so I gotta give credit to Tengu Man for emphasizing this, but Tengu Man said that basically, you like, to play Akira, you kind of have to understand the game quite a bit, but once you do, then you play Akira, and then he suddenly is easier to play, but it's like he's kind of like dumbed down. I don't think that's what he meant to say, but that's how I took it. Is that basically once you understand the game enough, Akira is actually very simple, but it's hard to learn him, like, when learning the game, because there's a lot to learn about and where all these things are compressed into, like why your opponent does what they do and why Akira wants to do this there, you know. So
yeah, I think it's funny. It's like, there's like, have you seen a meme where it's like a bell curve where it's like low level, just do jab elbow and then like you throw people.
Yeah, basically.
And then like the middle level, so like I do all this fucking crazy shit.
That's not even like a meme. That's like the real game. No, but the meme from 13 years ago, was from a friend of mine, Shang, who made a joke about the dashing elbow flowchart. Which that one just kept looping into doing dashing elbow, and it's kind of true. It's like, that is the flowchart. So
yeah, I didn't realize that, like, until I watched like Shiokara play at the VM Global Finals, and I'm just like, he is actually just doing three things, and that's it.
Well, he's reading though. He is threatening so many things though. Like, if they do a loose play, he will do some big combo, right? And so he's threatening every little thing. And so but then he's watching. So did you observe? I said it on my stream, but did you observe how much he was watching the opponent? He would do sequences to like see how they respond after, so he could plan like what Okizeme he should do. So he wouldn't complete Okizeme, he would just watch, right? Or he would do Okizeme that lets him just watch. It's all good. You really are doing so well though. Like, welcome back to VF. I'm really glad you're back. But all respect to Melty Blood.
I have no intention of leaving. Unfortunately, I'm stubborn as shit, so I don't let games beat me.
I like that. I think you have to be stubborn to play this game. Like, this game is tough. Like, because when you hit the plateaus, this game can be hard. But it's not that you hit full on plateaus. What's really happening is, like, let's say you're making certain insights, and so now you've got to build certain skills into your game. And while you're building those skills, there's just a lot of situations that you go through, but also you don't get a lot of looks at the same situation. When you play a lot of other fighting games, you'll see the same look at a lot of the same moves, like a lot. You'll see the setup like over and over. It'll be drilled into you. In this game, your opponent can free flow it, so you might see like that dangerous setup like once in a blue moon in this game, and that's scary because now you don't feel like you're prepared. You just don't know when it's gonna come, you know, and it's hard. So there's that, and then there's the whole you're integrating those concepts and those skills into match play, and it's hard because there's a lot of places to do it and not much time to respond. I didn't do the fuzzy guard attack. So, wish I did. But because you're playing Akira, you are playing a lot of tempos. And it's one of the hard things for me to deal with in your game is actually sometimes you're delaying and sometimes you're not. And it catches me a lot. So I have to make my game a little less precise and a little more defensive to manage that. But it's good. Very good. Very good throw after a shoulder. I see. All right. That's how you play. Let's test this out, man. Nice block. That was really cool. That low block was awesome. Now you can actually punish that, but but I think you have to double palm to punish that one. But you might be able to 6 KP, but I would double palm that if I
I don't think you recover standing enough, like fast enough for me to do PK.
Hey, Mystic Mouse. My daughter says yoi. So, hey, Mister, good to see you.
Alright, Cat, get the fuck away from my PC.
Oh my god, that's the one time you did the guard break of doom. The one time you did guard break of doom, and I guarded that one time.
Give me that. Oh,
that was beautiful.
God. That's my dopamine hit.
I don't know how you read that, but that was awesome.
Honestly, to be fair, all I was doing was like attacking. And I wasn't running trying to evade or like play delay timing, so I was just like, fuck it. They're probably just gonna hold guard here.
I think you're very good at that because you've done it a lot in the match. Like, I think you're very good at that. It's very scary. Like, reading when an aggressive opponent's actually going to guard. Like, you're seeing something that they don't even know they're doing to signal they're going to guard. Might be listening to the song, too, but yeah.
Hey, I would say this character is evil.
Yeah, that's his strength. His strength is dumbing down the game into, like, 2 of the rock, paper, scissors because he wins attack versus attack. But against himself, it's a little different, but still. Nice. Very nice. Nice. That was really good. That was really fun. That was intense.
Yeah, no, I was trying to evade. I think I messed up my buffer timing because I definitely could evade that CP, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It depends though. If I'm dashing, that's a delay, so if I delay, then you have to make sure you're delaying the evade. So it's the hard part. And I would say at the wall, delaying is a strong tactic. So. I was playing the wrong character. That was good. Nice. Very good conversion. I don't know if I could tech any of that. That was really good.
Honestly, I think I'm a DLC. I'm surprised it worked, honestly.
This stupid move. That was. I thought you had that.
Awesome.
Oh, wrong move. Yeah, it's only like.
Once I can hit G-Bod,
yeah. You'll get it. It's very scary. Your assault on throw on guard and evade is very scary. So. Good punish.
Yeah.
4-6P, you'll get it. You did it before, you can do it again. I'll do one more set.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm enjoying this a lot, so for the record, like, I'm enjoying this a lot. I hope you are too. So.
I'm having fun, I'll say.
I feel like you're processing a lot, so I feel like I gotta let you process it. So.
You're right, but like, it's all good. It's like, I'm blaming. I'm just like trying to keep shit in mind as well. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was guaranteed.
Yeah.
Good. See.
Oh, what? I was like, I don't know why I wasn't guarding there. I was holding G.
Sometimes if you like, I don't know if you tech, it doesn't look like you did. Sometimes if you tech and you hold D or you hold D before getting up, it has a problem with it. It's complicated explanation. There's a few scenarios. There's also the, like, if you intended to do like a guard throw escape, and if you inputted the throw, that will not count as a guard. Like if you inputted PNG at the same time, that's another one, but that's probably not what happened. But that is one factor that can cause it on the buffer. choices. I really like the choices. I had a strong feeling that your win condition was guard and do something after guard. So.
I was gonna say, low-key kinda was just like...
It's really risky for me to throw there, but I'm just like, I think he's gonna try to defend. So. It was very intense. Thank you very much for the sets.
Thank you.
Do you feel like you got made any gains or felt anything you feel like it's helping you out or improving?
Yeah, I think honestly, like, because a lot of what I was trying to do in that was like, obviously, I was actually trying to implement more just like actual defensive maneuvers because like just like kind of like in buffering crouch or just like in general, just like trying to hold my ground a little bit more instead of like trying to force like action.
Yeah.
But also just like in a sense being more lax on offense because it like me not trying to be as frame tight or kind of try to be around the flow and be like more comfortable, just like functioning at kind of like a base level. I think it made it a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
I was kind of focused, like, early, I think one thing I was always kind of, like, hyper-fixated, like, all right, I'm going to do my super frame tie offense and have this shit work. And then, like, if it doesn't, I was kind of like, fuck.
No, this game is very in the moment, so you should play in the moment, and I think you did. I think it showed results, like huge results, when you played more in the moment, and it's okay to let yourself autopilot because that's how you can play faster. It's just the trick is like learning how to manage it, how to guide it, steer it, you know. But if you let yourself play that way, go ahead. Sorry.
Not good. Yeah, I was trying to not like. It's just I was trying to not suck myself out, and low-key, I think that's what kind of happened to me. Like, that was like last 2-3-ish games. It was like you start throwing me shit on because like most of like the pace for like the past 2 sets we played, you were like very strike heavy, just trying to like catch me for like just like mashing out in shitty spots or just like doing like weird evades. So you're kind of playing really strike heavy, and then once you realize I was starting to like guard, I was actually like kind of like playing off the ideas like okay. I'll kind of wait for you to in a sense tire yourself out and like block even if it doesn't require an action for me.
Yeah.
And then I'll like attempt to start running my game. And then like once you get more scared or like or once I start hitting you a bit more, I can start like putting in delays. You know, go for a throw if I think you're gonna like try like do kind of like a wild get off me option where like you're fairly minus and I can actually like play like the throw RPS game on that. Things like that, but towards the end, when it came to my defense, I think I had a hard time adapting.
Yeah,
where changing because it's one of those things where it's like I had an inkling you were going to throw at times. The problem was like in terms of the tempo, you were playing it.
A lot of times
like, it was hard for me to get into it.
Well, a lot of times I actually didn't want to come in to throw, but it just the signals were the feeling I was having was he's gonna try to defend. Like it was more like I think they're either defensive or they're really wanting this win and they're slowing it down. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go in and throw. You know, it's kind of like that. You know, because throwing is hard to react to, but you are reacting to the pace pretty well. But that's also why I was like, okay, now I can kind of just go in and throw because you were reacting to the pace. So now you're looking like you're hungry for information. So then I can just kind of dash in. That's when it's a good opportunity to go in and throw. But it's very risky. I have to be very sure that was what's going to happen because I was like almost death too, you know. But I think it was more like I think you're also trying to set up the win condition that way. You know, stuff that I had trouble with. I actually have trouble doing fuzzy guard when Akira does dashing elbow. Like I input it, but my timing is not there. Like I'm always inputting it too early or I don't know. But I can never really fuzzy guard after Akira hits me with dashing elbow. So, and it's something I'm working on, but it's still, after all this time, I still struggle with it. So, I mean, certain Akiras when I fight, then yeah, it'll happen. But I think with you, I had trouble doing it against you and it was good. But I was just like, man, I'm not getting a fuzzy guard here at all. And it's like, I'm trying again. Nope. And I'll eat like 3 dashing elbows in a row. Thank you very much for the raid, both of you, Hectic Fall and Ellie Wells. Really appreciate it. I guess everybody, it's a Monday night, so everyone's kind of doing this thing. Right now we're watching VFTV while I talk with, after our session, we had a good training session with J.Valentine and their Akira, really giving me hard times. I mean, I know I came out on top on it, but it was a lot of fun doing the Akira mirror match. I think I enjoyed it a lot, and it's, lets me see the character in more lights, but also I think it helps both of us to kind of see a lot of what's going on and what Akira can and what he has trouble with. He does actually have trouble with crouching, by the way. So in the long run, like when you're more in that passive watching state, consider pairing it with crouch dash and even crouch guards. Not always. Sometimes it is just that holding guard throw escape. But especially in that mirror match, sometimes I think crouching is not bad actually against Akira, but there's a lot of skills that go into that too. But you have a lot of skill. Your reading skill, your conditioning, your reverse conditioning reading skill is pretty scary. So I think you should be very confident in that. Of course, sometimes it's gonna like it sucks when it gets used against you, but you really do have it. So like I had to really focus a lot to try to kind of try to come up with a way to attack to get you, especially when you're in the watching patient mode, because your defensive game is a little scary, even if it's not complete yet, right? It's not full of technique, but it's just that you simply have a good read on your passive read is pretty strong. Doesn't mean you should always play passive. It means, but what I'm saying is that if you combine that with your activity, which you were doing tonight, it's pretty scary. And so, you always find that moment, and Akira is scary. Whenever he finds his moment, it's terrifying. And when the opponent feels like they need to throw you, but at the same time throwing is like got a high risk, because of the way you're playing, because you're always kind of looking for when the opponent commits, you seem to hit the button. So there's a lot of times when I go for a throw. But that was really awesome when you went for the guard break of doom, when I literally was just not guarding almost ever on wake up, and then I do it here, and then you did the guard break of doom. It was pretty nuts. Like I'm still just pretty surprised by that. So
it's one of those things for me was like when I look at like Akira offense as like a whole, and then especially me, is like a lot of times I think I try to play more reserved on knockdown. So a lot of times like I was noticing it's like, okay, they're like pressing a lot, and then like once I had like a really intense round, and I was like, okay, they are probably scared here, and I do have a life lead at this point.
Yeah.
If I just G-bot here, if like worst case scenario with the timing is that it's like normal hit, and I'm maybe kind of minus.
No, that's correct.
And like whatever.
That's the risk reward play.
Like, the risk reward was like, obviously there's maybe allegedly a smarter decision in a sense.
No. That was good. That's a really good risk reward play. And so it's not about being the smartest. It's just being about smart enough in this game. That sounds dumb, but what it is it's the same thing as like Gentleman Thief gave the same advice on his stream, which is in this game you want to be a step ahead, but you don't want to be 2 steps ahead. And that's because it's a rock, paper, scissors game. So 2 steps ahead puts you in a losing position, you know, and especially if you're in Akira, being on the same step just usually wins in most matchups. So being on the same step and a step ahead is so strong for Akira. That's what makes him very scary. And that's why the opponent feels like they're playing a real 2-choice game like all the time against him. When this is a 3-choice game, but when you fight against Akira, you really feel like you're in a 2-choice game like always. And it's rough. It's good, but it's really rough. And then when your opponent guesses, when Akira guesses right like 4 times in a row, that's very intimidating. Like it's very intimidating because you're trying to figure out what you did wrong, but a lot of time you just simply guessed wrong is all it was. You know, sometimes you guess wrong because you didn't guess. That's bad. But sometimes you made a choice, you just happen to guess the wrong one, and then now you're second guessing yourself, wondering if they know about you more than you know yourself. You know, so that's the strength of the way you lock people down in this game is by guessing correctly multiple times in a row. That's not locking down, you know, but that's how you lock someone down in this game. And that's how you get someone to mentally slow down, you know? So, yeah.
All right. My homegirls were asking me to hop on Ocarina of Time.
Okay. Awesome.
Would you be down to slide me some homework?
To what?
Would you be down to slide me some homework?
Some homework for you. Yeah. Are you doing evade throw escape? When you evade, do you do a throw escape?
No, actually. I think,
You should. You do like to evade because I was playing strike heavy. You chose to evade, which was correct, but it's not fully correct, but it is correct. But because of that, so something you want to work on is actively making sure you've got a throw escape in there. You can do the guard throw escape. You just have to do it like when your character starts evading, like Now, if you're doing evade cancels, that's fine. So in that case, evade cancels. Well, theoretically, yes, you could do the guard throw escape before. In general, in America, it's not necessary. Just you can do evade cancel, and then if you choose to guard, you can guard throw escape. And if you see that your opponent didn't do an attack, guard throw escape is a good option. You know, so sometime so stuff like that. You'll build that. But just actively know that when you evade, you should do a throw escape. When you do reversal, you should do a throw escape. So you didn't do reversal much, and I don't encourage you to do it that much. But if you do reversal, kind of train yourself to do it as a motion, like a reversal into a guard throw escape.
Okay.
And then buffer.
Yeah, because the whole thing of like me not doing evade throw escape as much is generally because like my assumption most of the time, if I'm doing an evade in a spot where I feel that isn't just like gigapeg evading,
yeah,
is like the assumption is that I will get the successful evade, and I want to try pre-buffer an action to possibly take my turn back.
Yeah, so if you
not take it over, just like actually like get my initiative.
So like I said, in that situation, you just go ahead and do the evade cancel. But if you see that they didn't do an attack, you should consider a guard throw escape.
Okay.
Like it's a hard part, but I think from playing you, I feel like you're actually capable of this. Okay. So it's one where if you're going to use evade cancels, which could be forward dash or crouch dash, you want to at least like when you see no attack come in, and you kind of want to do it guard throw escape. This is a lot to do, but at some point you'll feel it out. You'll kind of feel out how to do it without obstructing your play. And then you also feel when you decide you want to buffer dashing elbow, then you're like, okay, well, I'm not doing guard throw escape because I'm doing dashing elbow, right?
Yeah.
But you'll kind of over time, just knowing that this is kind of the decision that's going on in my head, I think this will gradually bleed into your game. Like you'll start to feel this. At some point, it'll like make sense with how you're controlling the game, and then you'll be like, okay, and you'll be active while still doing all these things. That's not like it's a weakness. It's just more that I was just like, I did feel that like, yes, when you chose to do a lot of attack, it's hard to throw you. But I do think throwing is still something you want to cover. So it's more like you're not in trouble. You're not in the danger zone here, but your game would improve with with just a little more throw escape. And that means doing a lot more throw escape. And so, because a lot of the throw escapes we don't see, they're just built into the game. They're just built into how you're playing. And so they're just insurance policy for you. But of course, you're still buffering, and you're Akira, so you're still going to do a lot of forward.
Yeah.
Other things, let me think here. The good thing was your Okizeme improved. You got used to it. You got used to my wake up game, and you finally started to lock in on how Akira can like make sure he's hitting on that rising, and your timing improved. So. So the homework is stuff like, research Akira's Okizeme game or explore your Okizeme options. Right now, today, it looked like it was improving, but it was also at the phase of how do I win this situation, which is really good. But expand on your knowledge of Akira's Okizeme. Try to search it out. Try to ask other Akira players. Not just mastering the one or two, just kind of add just nice to know stuff and just play around with it and have fun with it, so that it's not something that you have to desperately know right away, but it's something you should be building in your game. Akira's Okizeme is good. It's Akira's wake up game that sucks, but his Okizeme itself is very good. I don't see you have, as far as I know, you have a very limited wall game, and I think you're strong enough that you can start practicing the wall game. That could probably be your main focus, because that's giving you a win condition, which gives you a strategic objective, and that will feed into how you're playing your positioning game. So that, and then practice your ring outs, meaning see which combos you have that are easy for you to do, that will do the most carry, that will move them the farthest across the ring.
Yeah.
So those, I would say right now, build win conditions, because your game, this will help give your game more strategic guidance, which I think you have strategic sense from Melty Blood, and I see it in your game too. But I don't feel like that your strategic sense has anything to do with the win condition. Which is fine, because as you're developing where you are in your game, you just want to like learn how to win combat. But I think you're strong enough to where a win condition is going to really help you build your strategy and your strategic thinking. Okay. Throw direction. Right now, what is your throw logic?
So throw logic for me generally is So neutral throw is generally my like. Okay, I know for a fact that if you are breaking neutral throw, then frankly you just got it, because the whole thing for me is like.
Yeah.
Neutral throw doesn't really apply much threat in my eyes.
Exactly. No, that's correct. That's correct. I don't know if you've read my. Okay, have you read my Throwscape guide or no?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I'll send you a link. It's on VFDC. I wrote a big Throwscape theory, and it's pretty big, but I think you'll like it. And I think it does talk about these topics, but it does say basically. Yeah, if the opponent likes to do neutral, there's like a certain amount that you're willing to take, you know? And then you escape it like once. And then that's it. And then you kind of go back to just covering your bases because they've already done the job for you of lowering their damage on throws. Now that said, when should you really think about neutral, or when should you think about your opponent considering neutral?
So generally the way I think about it is that if you're playing against someone that you know specifically has an idea of what throws equate to what win con for you.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, so like for example, like back throw is damage and good oki. Forward throw, depending on which one you do, is like good oki, solid damage. One's like your highest damaging throw.
Yeah.
Back throw can also is good for ring out because like he has two that ring out.
Right.
Course go back throw is just like, yeah, that's like your common one.
Yeah.
But you get free double palm off of 4/4 PSG, and that's like really good for ring outs. Like outside of that, generally, like when it comes to my decision making on throw, I assume everybody wants to break on back literally all the time because it's a good situation for them too if they break it, and also if they work like it. So if they get hit by it, then like they're eating a shit ton of damage for what a throw gives.
So that's generally correct. Now the simple matter though is also, well, you know the simple matter. So you know that the long term you're looking at strategy and win cons, which is important, and you want to study those. You know that, but I think you also know that in the match it's just about if they have a weakness in their throw escape, like it's not actively about reading you, then that gives you opportunity to take advantage of that, which means, okay, if they're always doing back throw escape, if they're always doing forward throw escape. Now, the question I ask is, when should neutral be considered like a lot? And the answer is when life is low. Because it's lethal. Because once it's lethal, now there's 3 throw directions to consider. Now, that doesn't mean you just automatically neutral throw. It means you observe if your opponent does the neutral throw game or do they not. and then you simplify it from there. But basically, like, because that becomes a reading point, like, oh, does this person always tend to try to win the round with neutral throw, or do they just still go for, like, you know, can I see the logic in their throw direction, right? But again, as you know though, and your game does this well, the answer to throw is to attack it. Throw escape is just how you protect your defense and make your defense stronger. That's all. Yeah. And so, but you're doing awesome with it, and I think you're doing pretty good there. Yeah. And then I do think you expanded your throw directions as we played. I think in the beginning it wasn't as diverse, but maybe it was reading, and that's totally fine. Reading is good. But definitely read the Throwscape guide I wrote. I think you'll understand it right away. And but it does talk about just the different logics people would go through. But the main core of it's actually that's a Yomi guide, which I think you already understand Yomi. And I think you're actually pretty good at it. So just think of it as bolstering you on that. Try to look at win conditions at this point so that your game will start to flesh out and build a deeper strategy. But I think, I was playing very tactical tonight, right? We're sparring, and I was like, it was just more like, okay, he's starting to win, so now I gotta like really try to tactically get this. And some of that is doing a lot of spamming to figure out when to pull off the brakes, you know, or when to apply the brakes when I like, pour a lot of press on the gas on you and just try to like pressure you with a lot of spamming to try to see if I can condition you in a way, but it is hard to condition you. So, I think you're actually pretty hard to condition, and I think you're pretty scary when you choose to bar. I really like it, and I really liked it when you chose that guard break. I like your in general. I like when you choose to throw. It's very very scary for me. You were catching really good ones. Go ahead.
Yeah, the best when I like thinking about throwing like as a whole is that in this game is like because like Akira is a character that has multiple guard breaks as a whole. I think that's definitely like a privilege where like you do have guard break, you also have throw. I think throw is such a good utility tool in so many aspects because it covers a lot of things that people that like with like I think a lot of like kind of organized like offense / defense like doing because like if I'm playing against someone and I know they very commonly they like to do stuff after they block, like after they are forced to block something, or after if I block something, they like doing stuff. I think throw is very strong because obviously it does lose to attack, but in the situations that I think throw feels good in is like
that's correct.
Let's say you do like jab, elbow, something like that.
Yeah, just
very, very simple. Realistically, unless you have an unbelievably hard read on the throw, if you try to evade, if you try to evade, I get smoked. No, if you try to evade, you get smoked. If you fuzzy, I may get PK punished. Obviously, punishes can be a lot more intense.
Actually, there is a punish to jab elbow. So, do you know what it is?
I'll say you evade it.
But for your character, it's evade throw. Right. What it is that the opponent is actually the person doing the elbow is -11. So that's -11 is not enough for a PK punish, except for the 4 characters with the 11 frame jab.
Yeah.
But it does mean evade throws there. Now here's the cool part. It's not a side throw most of the time. Sometimes it is, but most of the time you do that evade throw, it'll be like a regular throw, which is very scary. So it's evade into a mix-up throw. And sometimes a side throw, which really can mess with your head, But in that specific situation, but you're doing really good. You did do evade mix-up, which was powerful. I like the way your evade game was working tonight for the most part.
It was like I think throws feel so fun for me in this game because what I like to treat throws as, in a sense, is a calm the fuck down button.
Yes.
Which is pretty much like if I think you're over 7 bits too much, it's like, you're trying to play the game way too much in a sense that like makes you like because I think it's very easy to like autopilot, especially against someone with like not as strong defense and offense like myself. Right. So it's like if I sense someone feels that type of way about me and they think I'm just gonna try to like match out elbow just like on -5 because like it's a strong option, but like it's like all right, I'll calm down. There's a little bit of time to like relax. More likely, the Oki game, depending on what throw I do, may not be amazing, but otherwise, it's like, all right, we're back to neutral. But now you have the idea of like, oh wait, is he just gonna do throw like I'll just like vary my new plus rates? It's like it's a threat I really like. It's a threat I like incentivizing because at the end of the day, like
although this game you got to be a grappler, so
like Akira's like he is all about the strikes. He is all about being safe literally all the time, but like. Doing some risk like that, especially when people are willing to play more strike heavy, I think it's like it feels really good to do, especially when it works out.
Yes, yeah. Well, catching the right moments. I mean, again, if you watch the VFOC matches again, especially with Shiokara, right? It came down to getting like it was, like the reads came down to reading when to get the opponent to throw, and then when to launch them. But then you would see the reverse read too. But those were all the key moments where basically when they were going for a throw or when they got a throw, for anyone, for both Gentleman Thief or for Shiokara or for any of Shiokara's opponents, it became a lot about that. But this is a grappling game, and I would also say that like this game, you got to be good at striking, yes, but you also got to be good at grappling, and then you got to be good at mixing it up, and that's the core of this game. And this game is the fighting game where I like grappling. I like the feeling of grappling and throwing in this game more than most fighting games for me. And I like it more than even most wrestling games for me. There's only a few wrestling games I really, really like. I don't normally play them, but I do love like the Def Jam, Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York. I really love those two games. And I like the way grappling feels in those games. But I really love the way grappling has always felt in Virtua Fighter, because it's something like, oh, they whiff, I can go in and throw them. Now, could they escape it? Yes, so it's not guaranteed damage, but there's a lot of positional advantage and high damage and threat, and at least I'm getting them to think about it, But if I can do the attack damage, I'll do it. But if I feel like there's a chance that I'm a little late, then I'll go for a throw. But also, the throw becomes important, like for getting out of the ring, getting out of like a ring out situation, getting out of the corner. A lot of time it's okay, if he whiffs, I'm going in, I'm going to throw him, because even the escape, I'll be okay, maybe something like that, So that's where grappling in this game is actually very, very important. It's very strong. And but it's because it's unique, right? Because in a lot of other fighting games, throwing is, it's either it's decent tech that does no damage, or it's like kind of a challenge to do unless you're a quote unquote grappler character, in which case what it is really an armor attack and disguised as a throw. So it's like
strike throw is very strike throw in other games, like conventionally, is like, the way I like to think about it is that strike throw in other games, to me, is the throw is the aspect of, I'm tired of this person blocking, so I'm going to eventually represent this.
Yeah.
And in VF, it's very similar, but it's one of those things where, like, there is a meme in certain anime games where it's like, get back thrown in corner, lose immediately.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like VF throws can function very similar to that. Because the thing is, a lot of time, most of my successful throws literally come from me blocking something, or someone's just trying to do something to like play defense, and I just say no.
No,
it almost feels like I'm just like sweeping you under your feet, and you just gotta like hold that.
No, but that's the correct thing, and it's actually what I've been trying to teach other people. But I didn't have to teach you. I didn't have to tell you, because you were already doing it. I was like, in this game, it's stronger to throw from defense first, and then but that's because when you come from other games, you're like, oh, I'm gonna tick throw them. It's like, if you're gonna tick throw, you better tick attack as well to threaten, so that they can actually defend and know that they should. But a lot of people get like, tick throw is kind of a telegraph. Guard throw is something that happens, like, it's very natural for them to want to defend after you defend them, right? And whether that's sidestepping or guarding. Now, of course, this game, you can throw people that are sidestepping, and that's not true for all fighting games. So that's something that has to be explained to people. And once you explain that, then you're like, okay, so, when you block something good, but you don't have a guarantee, like, it is a mix-up situation, but understand that throwing is a very good option because of how likely your opponent is to defend in that situation, So instead of telling everybody they should always defend when they're minus, punish people that are defending when they're minus, so, with the throw. And you got it. Like, your game is very opportunistic for those throw moments, and so that really stands out. I really liked it. So yeah, I hope that homework will help you. How do you feel about stance? Because we talked a little bit about it. What aspect of stance do you think is in your wheelhouse right now, and which parts do you think is going to be more long-term project?
So I think but that's one thing it's just like, I think you mentioned I need to work on like actual win cons. I was starting to feel that, because like initially for me is like a lot of my work is like, all right, get a grounded basis of how this game works. Don't worry about like doing crazy win con shit. Just like,
no,
right,
and that is the correct approach. That was the correct approach for learning.
Yeah, learn how to do like your buttons, your elbows, and get an idea of what this game actually wants to play like. That's one thing I've definitely been noticing, is that like I'm definitely kind of lacking outside of just like basically the layer one of like, I'm going to do like my elbow, and then I'm plus, so like it's a mix up, but like actually like having more sequences that I can try to implement into actually leading the stuff, because like if you're up against a wall, my only real threat is maybe I catch you with a guard break and corner and you take
No. Akira has a lot of threats at the wall, so that's what you want to learn. Yeah. You want to learn his types. Yeah. Oh, you mean you personally? Yeah, you meant you personally.
Yeah, me personally. Yeah, because like I know Akira's insane against wall. I have felt it before.
Yeah.
Especially because everything he does for some reason wall splats.
But that just means that congratulations, you're at the point where it's time to move forward with the win conditions, because you did your job. You learned general aspects of combat. You learned how to fight really good combat against a strong player too. And now it doesn't mean you're perfect at it. There's so much refinement to do, and that's going to come. But but now I'm like, when I look at your game, I was like, you can use win conditions because of where you're at. Like that the positional win conditions are not out of your reach. They are very much in your reach because of what you're already showing me you can do. So it will take time and it will slow you down, and you may lose a lot of matches. You'll lose hundreds of matches trying to nail that win condition, but it will be worth it if you can stomach that. Because it'll build your awareness. Now that said, when it comes to the wall and ring out and the edge of the ring, I am going to say the evade cancel game becomes an important dynamic, because evade cancel is kind of the thing that is a safer way to get out, to try to squeeze your way out of there. But it's still risky because delay attack will still get you, and if they have a good enough delay attack, they could ring you out. But that's on them to be able to do that, and it does require some skill or some predictable movement on your part. But eventually you'll learn how to, like, okay, I stand still a bit and now I can step, and you'll get a feel for how to fight that too. But that comes hand in hand with learning some of the general techniques you've already learned. Just know that if you're like, if they're threatening to ring you out, throwing is a very risky thing to do unless you get a guaranteed throw. Like, unless like they whiff and you throw, or unless you block something that's punishable and you throw. But outside of that, when throw is on the table, or when Abare against throw is on the table, and your back is to the ring out zone or your back is to the wall, well, the first one is make sure that you're doing guard throw escape for the direction you need to, and that's against the wall. And two, you just got to be very like your throws need to be secure. It's got to be like a grappler going for a throw when you see somebody make a mistake, right? It's like that type of a grapple. It's like a pro wrestling grapple, but not a Hail Mary grapple. So you don't Hail Mary your throwing when you're facing like ring alternate win condition. And you definitely got to understand that throws take time. So throws can work for you by running the clock. And even though this game rarely goes timeout, it does matter. And I can tell you that Go is probably Go and Taka are the most evil in this one. They have that grapple that grabs you, that clinches. They can clinch you, and you should see how long they can wait before making that decision. And now, not people don't do this, but I'm like, dude, if I played Taka, I'd be doing this. Like, I know it's obnoxious, but it's strategically correct. If my health is the same or above, I am doing this. I am running the clock with this clinch, and you have to still guess, and it may tilt you, and you may make a mistake on the guess because of that. So it's like, they're evil. Anyways, that is to say, throwing. So then throwing is good when you use it to run the clock in your favor. It's really bad if you run the clock in the opponent's favor. So if like you're really minus and you're going for this big throw, unless you're sure it's going to ring them out, like a lot of times that I've seen people lose because they did a throw that like robbed them of their ability to even like win the round because there was no time. So yeah. All right. Have a good night, and send messages to me if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them, and And I hope that was all helpful. I think it was helpful, but
Well, it was.
yeah. All right.
I'll holler at you later.
All right, later. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a fun session, and I think they really have a lot of good stuff in their game that is very, very good. I like the Yomi Foundation they already have. So that's why why you guys heard me give the advice that I do. The advice I give is, while it can sound universal if I'm making it repetitive, I really do try to give advice that's more direct to the opponent or to the player, and try to work with what I'm seeing. And I did see a lot, and I think they've got their bases covered on it. So some stuff didn't need to be said as much. But I'm looking forward to seeing how their game grows. So, J.Valentine, thank you very much. Hypergrav, I hope you're doing really, really well. Hypergrav said, I've noticed that people trend strongly towards Abari if they have your back to the wall. Yeah, to the ring out. It's very true, to the edge. That's also why things like defense, active but passive play, that's an oxymoron. But what I mean by that is stuff like using a crouch dash is really, really important. Crouch dash is actually the most important. When I talk about evade cancel, it's because if you're going to sidestep, you need to cancel it in case it does. Otherwise you have a higher chance of being rung out on a delay attack. It doesn't mean you should always ECD, and so I apologize if it sounded that way. It meant that if you're going to evade, you should evade cancel. But actually, crouch dash is one of the strongest movement options in the game. You can crouch dash into a standing guard, and crouch dash would get you away from that ring out a little bit. It's not much, it's moving in inches, but when you're up against the wall or up against the ring out, it really is a game of inches. It really is a game of really small movement and patience and seeing an opportunity. And that's why I talk about the grapple part. So it's like an actual grappler. You'll see your opponent might do a wide swing because they want to hit you against the wall. And if they whiff, you can just go in and throw, in which case you'll probably end up not in that ring out position anymore. And that's a very fast way to get out. Of course, you could use movement, but movement takes quite a bit. It takes a successful evade for one. Offensive move is limited, but it can do it, but you can also get blown up for doing offensive move pretty bad. So you need to be very confident based on the way you've been fighting your opponent that offensive move would work. But generally, a successful evade is going to be huge, but not guaranteed. Getting a throw can be huge, or getting a certain throw escape can be huge. Lao is lucky because Lao can do neutral throw, and Shun kind of has that. Shun has it at an angle where the escape kind of escapes kind of at an angle. But with Lao, if he connects with neutral throw, the positions will be switched guaranteed on success or on escape. Yeah. So Hypergraph says, I'm good, trying to apply myself in single player to sharpen up reactions, but it's certainly a journey. It is. But the single player mode honestly helps me a lot. But I think it would help everyone else too. And I think it does make people a lot sharper. But sometimes the hard discipline is that if you find a thing that works against the AI, it might be the hard discipline to do something different, but it would actually improve your game to be able to have more control over your game. Including more control over your greed and more control over your options. So, and I think World Stage is amazing for that. World Stage is still like my favorite mode in fighting games because it's a mode I can keep going back to, keep training with, keep practicing, and feel fresh a little bit. Feel fresh actually a lot. It gives me little goals, but overall it's just that it gives me lots of different opponents that feel, that have a little bit of differences here and there, but also situations I can test out and combos I can test out and setups I can test out. It's really fun. So I love it, and that's why I recommend. That's why I tell everybody that it's my favorite mode in fighting games. So my favorite single player. Multiplayer mode's a different story because I like multiplayer mode and single player. Yeah. All right, everyone. You guys have a good one. Take care. I like how there are multiple the goat pawns in World Stage. Yeah, I like that too. There's multiple ones played by people. There's multiple ones, probably CPU, right? So yeah. I do like the Goat Princess. I like the Goat Princess very much. So yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Let's look see who we can raid. I appreciate the raids, by the way. Shout outs to LD Wells. Shout outs to Sente, who runs a really nice Monday event pretty often, but most importantly, they help coordinate a lot of the locals in 3 different cities in Ohio. They keep the Ohio scene running, and it's amazing. It's Ohio and Virtua Fighter overall is so lucky to have someone like Sente, and he's also a strong player. He's become very, very strong. He's always been knowledgeable and strong, and always likes to test. He's definitely a person that likes to play with knowledge. So yeah. LD Wells, so good to see you. How are you doing today? How's the family doing? How's everyone doing? Yeah, I've been hearing I've been hearing Sente was rocking everybody at Frosty Faustings, like in casuals. I heard Sente was just rocking everybody in casuals at Frosty Faustings. Also, congratulations, Enfeng got 2nd place to Genesis Frenzy, but I've been hearing that Enfeng has been ridiculously strong. And I'm happy to hear that. I look forward to fighting with them soon, but I heard that Enfeng has just been playing wonderful VF. And so I'm looking forward to fighting with them soon. Where can you watch the VOD of Sente? I'm not sure. With Sente's heart, the thing with Sente is that I feel when I didn't, I fought Sente long ago. So when I fought Sente, it was like last summer. And we were on the same team, but we didn't really get to play much. We played a little bit. Yeah, we played a little bit at LA Gathering. But I have a comfort zone. I have a comfort fighting Aoi. I like fighting her. Even against strong Aoi, I'm comfortable with it. Doesn't mean I'm like the best at it or anything. I'm comfortable fighting Aoi. So the things that stood out to me with Sente is Sente doesn't want you to. He doesn't like to feed information, and so he sends signals, not information. What do I mean by that? He's gonna be he's gonna be less predictable on things like patterns of like how often his frequency of attack. He'll sometimes just stand still. It's a nice little attack, and I think this is by design. He likes, and so, but the trick to it is that he's blending passive and assertive in a nice way that is just not natural feeling for a lot of opponents. So even a lot of strong opponents will be kind of like what do I do with this guy? When's that thing coming? When's he gonna overextend? And he doesn't really overextend much, So he's really good at controlling the information flow, the amount of information he puts out without being a sitting duck. He's not a sitting duck. And so when I fought him, at first, yeah, it was a little bit of a headache at first, but we were going back and forth. And then I kind of started seeing where I can apply pressure, but I think he's a very different player now. And I think he's got more experience against Leon now, and I think Ohio's got some pretty good Leons too, I think, and so I'm looking forward to seeing the way he's playing now. He's hard to condition. That's the thing, is that it's stubborn without being like, he's not stubborn as in like he's not a stubborn fool. He's stubborn in that this is like, he's not going to feed you information. He's not going to respond the same way like a lot, it's not going to be repetition. And so you kind of have to look at the possibility space more when you're fighting him. And that's, some people hate doing that. I'd say, like, if you fought against Rayblade, I would say Rayblade is like, if he's going to act strongly on a read against you, then you go against that. Then you're like, he is playing with too much of a compass right now, and he thinks he knows you too well, so you got to play around him playing you. But then again, Ray, though, sometimes when Ray breaks out of that, Ray is terrifying. Ray has very good skills, and he's got very good sharpness. And but the thing is that it's just if he gets overconfident that this is the thing to beat you, that this is your weakness, he might overdo the kryptonite. This is the opening against him, right? On the flip side, when he doesn't play that way, he's actually very scary too. So when he plays open and just kind of winging it, you got to be careful with Ray, and you got to be playing with I got to usually use the character knowledge where I know that his character is vulnerable to like these are not good moves for, like, these moves are punishable and I'm going to set it up. But Ray is either going to play with like a hard read on you, and once he does that, though, it's an opportunity for you to flip that and then see if he adjusts back. But then he is very also strong at playing pretty open, and when he's not playing with the read, you can see his skill on display because he's a very skillful player. Yeah. Yeah. So Guibert, you mean Sente? You think you're one of the only players that can legit scare Sente, I'm guessing, and make him adjust? Um, Fence says he reacts to everything and mashes reversals. You gotta make him react to nothing. Yeah. I think that's why I like fighting against Sente, though. And so if he's playing with like, he's reacting more, so that means he's putting out less information. I think I like to put in a lot of noise. And so I like that our fights are kind of like that. It's like noise versus silence, you know? But then Fen says also Sente offline on a low lag setup is a completely different and much stronger player. No, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. So I really, really like that. And it's a lot of fun. Um, Making noise is a fun way to play offline. So I do. Uh, so I don't do it like I don't do it for no reason. But if I fight an opponent and as we're playing in offline, and I start sensing when they're responding to noise, when they're responding to stimulus, when they're like, oh, I know what you're doing. And that's when, and I've developed the skill to kind of to fake stuff or to do nonsense stuff that will send a signal to them. And it's fun punishing them with that. It's fun just kind of going, okay, like do a move but with like an empty button, but just do it naturally, just do it like you normally would, and then watch them like overextend into like a whiff punish. It's so much fun. It's really, really fun. I've done that to a lot of players that you guys know. So it's, you don't want to fake fireballs because it's overdoing, like some people overdo it. Long time ago, Rayblade used to overdo it. Rayblade used to fake stuff by going wham, like slamming the controller, and you don't do it that way. You just do it by doing what you normally do, but just slide your hand to the side a little, or slide it just out of position a little, so. And sometimes you just do it by curling your finger, and just doing like an empty input. So, why, Akai and I try not to make Ohio secret, but I think Ohio is definitely very fertile ground. But just like St. Louis is very fertile ground, there's a lot of these scenes that are so scary, right? In Colorado, right? We talked about Enfing already. And everybody knows Assassin, Bushido, Karashin, Rushdown Turtle. They've got so many strong players there. Texas has a lot of strong players. That's probably one of those where it's just a matter of time. But the hard part is they have trouble coordinating schedules. Like everyone's on a different work schedule. Everyone's got a totally different life from what I've heard about, like especially Houston area. Very nice using the K plus G versus 2K plus G. That was really good. Yeah, it's not going to be a secret, but it was just like we'll make it Northern California is no longer secret, but I do think more tournaments will be streamed. So I think as a community, we do need to kind of share the channels that are with like these local events. Sente's channel, which is Mondays. NorCal's channel, because there's a few NorCal channels, because there's a few groups doing tournaments there that I found out about. And other scenes as well. So let's keep sharing, and let's keep getting people watching these tournaments, because they're fun to watch. I wish I was better at it myself, better at sharing this stuff, but I need the whole team for us to do this well. So let's do it all together. All right, let me see who we've got here. That was a very fun chat. And VF, so much fun. Let's see here. Guiver, you travel quite a bit, so I'm so happy that you do. But I do wish you could travel more too, because it feels good, right? Like going to events and traveling for VF is satisfying. I think almost anybody who loves VF kind of understands the value of having an opponent like there with you. And so a lot of times we make it work, and a lot of times we end up having really good sessions. I think when the sessions are about the sessions, it's really good. When the session's about the tournament, it's good too, but the tournament focus can be, some people might not realize how important the casuals are until someone else really gets them into it. So if you're at a big tournament, make sure that those other VF players that you meet understand the value of those casuals and of hanging out together, unless they've got multiple tournaments to play in. And KNR understands, but he just plays multiple tournaments. But I'm so happy if he can go to LA Gathering. That's going to be wonderful. KNR is definitely I think he's gonna love it. He's also gonna bring this strong civic pride for St. Louis. He's gonna just be maybe bringing the St. Louis flag. And I think that'll be awesome. I think everybody will love that. I think people will love having these battles. I have these intracity battles. So yeah. Yeah, Fence, I really hope you can make it to LA Gathering. It is far enough away from Evo that I think it should work for people's budget. I think people can budget this trip. And honestly, LA usually is an affordable trip. Now, the downside is just people that went to LA Gathering know that I'm going to do my best to watch out for everyone. They know that I try to coordinate, help people find other people that have the same flight schedule as them, so that they know that they could find a ride together and save money that way. I try to help people find a way to come in at the same time, or not find a way for them to come at the same time, but if they happen to, I try to pair them up and say, hey, this person's flying in at this time. Ohio guys know it. Guibert kind of knows it, but I can tell you the Ohio guys will tell you, the Colorado guys will tell you that I was constantly communicating with everyone to try to help everyone have the best time at the event, but also so that they would have a smoother transportation to the venue. And the hotel itself is actually surprisingly affordable for how swanky it is. It's really shockingly affordable for how swanky that hotel is. And there's so much resources around. There's a Costco literally across the street, and there's a Home Depot less than a mile away, and there's tons of restaurants. If you're on a budget, there's a lot of food that's affordable, but you could always go to Costco and get hot dogs, right? If you want to have really nice food, it's just less than 5 miles away from some of the most fancy restaurants in Los Angeles. You have it all. You want to walk on the beach, you got it. LA Gathering is an amazing venue. And I'm dead serious about that. It's just, maybe getting to the hotel from the airport might cost you a bit, because the cost of a taxi is quite a bit. But I'm going to be there to try to help you know that you have an option, that someone could probably group with you to split the costs, can get a van. They actually have a system there for getting a good transportation, actually, but it does cost. But if you guys split it, it's cheap. Limey Porcupine came with a van. Sometimes he was willing on certain hours to be able to pick people up and transport them. Some community members are willing to do that. We'll talk and we'll figure out who those are. But we're not going to take advantage of people. We're going to make sure it works pretty well. But I do my best to try to make sure everyone's having a smooth and fun experience at LA Gathering. And I think everybody that was at LA Gathering will tell you that I was working hard to do that. So, man, Juice Fox, hell yeah. So Juice Fox says we'll both have sweet. Yes, I was gonna say I think NorCal and Arizona are gonna lock in those suites because those suites are amazing, and the after hours. The after hour suites were so awesome, and they definitely lend to an extra special feeling to again. They're definitely an essential part, and they are an essential part of all gatherings. So thank you so much, both of you guys, for pledging for the juice suite and the Gui suite. The Just Mana Gui suite. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. But, yeah. The C Money Suite, the Seaside Money Suite. I think RDT would be happy too. So definitely reach out to him. He'd be happy with that. Bay Suite's good. Bay Suite's good. Gui Money. There you go. Gui Money. Hell yeah. We got Gui Money. Gui money. Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome time, and the gatherings are a really good time. I think DC Theo did a wonderful job of explaining it because, and his both videos that covered LA Gathering, it's hard for people to really grasp how wonderful a gathering is until they've experienced it. Adam and I'm fortunate because that was my second traveling for VF experience was to go to New York Gathering that Adam had held, his second one that he held ever, during Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle on Dreamcast. And so for me and Adam, we go way back on that, and that was his second one that he did, and that was the first one I attended, and that's always defined my approach to the community. If you guys want to know why Chanchai is the way he is when it comes to the community, it is because of Adam and because of things like New York Gathering back in the day, because of Rayblade and our friendship and rivalry too. But these things, and of course the arcade experience, but it was really the gathering experience where I was like, I love the gathering experience more than the arcade experience. But I do want to take trips to arcades when we're at a gathering, actually. And I do want to do some outreach if possible. But I'm saying that the gathering itself is a very special thing. And of course, to outsiders, they're like, this is like a bunch of people just playing their game for 2 or 3 days straight. They're like, what? but when you're in it, you feel it, and you feel something better. And it's also the going out to meals together. Whichever group you're in, it's the hanging out, it's the rooming with someone. Even though I don't always room with somebody, I've definitely had my roommate experiences at the gatherings. And it's really cool. And then you also get to see the people you liked online. You also get to see the people that you might not have liked online, but you realize they were okay, but they just, online and offline. And I know that that's scary for some people, but don't worry, we're not going to put anyone that would make you feel danger. I'm just saying though that there are people you may be surprised how well you connect once you meet them in person. And I know that for a younger generation, there's this concept of the real person versus the not real. But I'm like, just bring it back to personas. Everybody brings a persona when they interact with people because they have different things that they're comfortable sharing and things they're not comfortable sharing. But it's also, and that's okay. I've been fortunate enough to meet people enough in person and interact with them enough online to kind of to kind of look past the surface level stuff and look past even the beef stuff, and to just really form bonds. So it really does sound like a Persona game. So, but it's like, but you really do form bonds with people. And sometimes those bonds are temporary, but they're still good memories. But a lot of times those bonds last. Almost all of them last for me. It's a very few that are not lasting. I'm still just this morning chatting with Taiwan 3 days ago. I'm not the best at keeping in touch with everyone, but once in a while I check in and try to. It's in VF I formed bonds with a lot of people all across the world, and it's been the best. Like, it doesn't mean like they're going to be your best friend forever or anything like that, though sometimes it can be that way. But it's a good life experience. And in this game, we've definitely had the full spectrum, whether it was somebody that has struggled to make their means, or somebody who's really well off, a lot of people in the between. You just get to see a lot of people, but the most important thing is that they all just love Virtua Fighter, so you keep it just about Virtua Fighter, and they love it. And then you keep it about the good times, and then it's about hanging out at a restaurant. So, and I think, if anything, from what I've heard, the younger generation needs more of this right now. So, like, honestly, not from me, they're saying it. Like, I think they say they need more of this themselves. Like, this is like my kids enjoying fidget spinners as long as they did, enjoying slime as long as they did, because they have to grow up with play dates, when I did not grow up with play dates, right? I grew up with being like, just go out whenever I want, ride my bike 8 miles to go hang out, and then 8 miles back home and not work, and they didn't think I was kidnapped. But the modern parent grew up, probably my generation, and millennials had to watch, To Catch a Predator and get freaked out and are kind of overdoing it, but I try to give my kids I do try to let my kids grow free range a bit, if I'm being honest. There's a friend where they can go walk like a mile to the library on their own and come back, and we trust them, but it's scary for a lot of parents. Most parents right now are not willing to do that. So like, community will always bring the pros and cons, just like online communities bring the pros and cons. Gossip will always happen in communities. It just does. But sometimes you can learn to not feed too hard into it, but also not let it affect you so much. And also see that there are times when being less interesting or being a little more boring kind of works to counter that. And then you can be more interesting at the right spots, But, things like that, it's people. And you learn that, offline is not going to prevent it, but online only is not going to prevent it either. But when you make connections, it's easier to make connections with people that share something, that have a common passion with you, which is like Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter to me is a lifestyle game. Almost everyone I know has played VF seriously is convinced it's one of the best games ever, right? And most people that like Virtua Fighter, love it, is convinced it's one of the best games ever. Might not be their favorite, though for many it is, but at some point a lot of people really feel that way. And that's when you've gotten into like a lifestyle game, because there are people that win or lose. Well, I mean, of course everybody wants to win, but win or lose, they see something beyond that with this game. This game is not just transactional for them. It's like there's some meaning in it, but there's also, it's communication itself. It's the game itself is conversational, but also it's just fun. So it's just one of those activities you just end up enjoying doing. And what I love about Virtua Fighter, like I said, is the better you get at this game, it's still more interesting, right? To me, this thing doesn't dumb down when you get higher level. There are some games that really feel like it's at the risk of that, you know? Even chess to me feels like it's at the risk of that. If you ask me, if you want my honest opinion, the reason I talk Go so much and don't talk about chess as much, though I like chess a lot, is that I do feel like chess has this, like, not exactly a ceiling, but it has this inevitability towards a draw, you know. But like Go does not feel that way to me at all, you know. But Virtua Fighter, the matches always feel like they can be fresh, and even when we play over and over, and that's why we a lot of times we can play over and over for a while, you know. But I understand there's different thresholds on different aspects of it, so people don't have to enjoy it the same way I do, but I've definitely played long sessions with lots of people, and they, you know, and loved it. So, yep, 100% what Hypergraph said. Yeah, see what everyone said here. And Fang says, I push my fingers into my Wii. It's the only thing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. um, but Fang says, but outside the FGC too, yeah, it's hard to find community like this for our generation. And I think, so I think these things are really important. And I am going to put something that is one of those scary truths, though, is that for a lot of people, the general thing that you're obsessed with when you're in your 20s is probably going to be the thing you will love a lot for the rest of your life. Sometimes reasonably so, and sometimes irrationally so, but you'll love it because of what it means to you, because of where it was in your young adult explorative life, you know, that phase of your life when you're discovering more about the world, but you get to challenge yourself because you've got a little more freedom, because you've got a little more room to just be yourself and see where that takes you or not. And so everyone's 20s is usually this, for most people their 20s is a special period. For some cultures it's later, actually, not later than 20s, but like in the late 20s, just because they'll be so focused on things like what everyone else is doing, or the rat race of college and stuff, and getting a career. And so some of those, so like some of my relatives in Thailand didn't really explore themselves like until they were like 26, you know. But for Americans it's usually 19, 20, 21, 22, you know. But no matter where I went around the world, you figure out what it was that person fell in love with at the right time in their life, you'll find a really strong connection point. Yeah, fighting game groups are great. Yeah, fighting games are so great. They really are. Fighting games are humbling, right? All the information's right there. This is not a hidden information game that much. The hidden information is like here. The hidden information is here, you know, and the hidden information is sometimes here, but the hidden information is just limited in those places, you know. So, but a lot of other games you're working with hidden information, so sometimes the hidden information's good, you know. It's good because like in a first person shooter, yes, there is information and map control and situational awareness that you get at a higher and higher level. But at least at the lower level, the less they know, sometimes the better, because they get to have delusions of grandeur, and that's okay, because that can drive a lot of motivation for a long enough time to get that game to sit in, right? Fighting game is a bit harsh up front sometimes. So, you know, like somebody has to have, you know, it depends on the person, but a lot of people kind of need to envision themselves being good at it before they decide they're going to plunge in. But some people know that they just like the game itself. And I love that, because I think that's easier to work with. But most people have they have an ambition, and so, you know, but the ambition is good because that's what drives learning and stuff, but the ambition can potentially run into a head when you start having self-doubt, and that's like all of us have dealt with that, and this game has definitely brought that to all of us too. Like all of us, every strong player has definitely had serious moments of self-doubt with Virtua Fighter even. So I want to be clear about that. Like if you talk to Homestay Cure, I'm sure he would talk about it. He might not be the most detailed talking about that, but I think he actually would if he had a real translator. But or Tetsuko, you know, but like but any strong player. Now Tonkatsu might not tell you. Nero might not tell you, but it becomes evident of their struggles too when you kind of hear more about their background with the game. But they might not tell you directly because, you know, they might feel like they've got to present themselves and show their dominance to you, you know. But they've definitely gone through it. So Kusano says another reason. No, don't be afraid of that. Trust me. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people in VF are introverted and they feel that way. They become so surprised. Every one of them. They become so surprised how it just kind of clicks. And it's like what that DC Theo video said. Because the event is just focused on virtual. I'm going to put this out here right now. There pretty much will be a rule that in the main ballroom when it's only going to be allowed Virtua Fighter. Okay, we're not gonna allow like Marvel or Tag or Tekken. Okay, that can be allowed in the suites. That's up to the people that run the suites. That's up to playing out in the hallway. That's okay, but in that ballroom, we are saying it's just VF, and there's a reason, and it is important. It's not like we're trying to be bigots about it. It's because the spirit of the event is best felt if we do this rule. And we're not denying people the ability to go just to that room over in the hallway. And we're not denying people to do that in the suites or anything like that or at other places. But it's just like if you're going to play a game, please, you know. Now, if it's a kid that's playing on a mobile phone, that's fine, okay? That's a very different thing. That's like because they're supporting their parent. Now, if they're there to play VF, it's like, hey, play VF with everyone. Come here, come play. But a lot of people came into LA Gathering a little shy and not sure if they were going to be able to play or communicate. Before they knew it, they were playing right away and they had a good time. And then they told, and I've always heard from everybody that like they can feel it, you can see it, but they tell me how much they really enjoyed it and like it's different. It is a different experience. I wish I could say it was the standard experience. It is the exception, but because it's the exception, you got to go to LA Gathering. So you know, so. Even the Japanese, I think, felt that this is a little different from what they feel. And they have amazing events. They have really amazing events. But I think they felt that LA Gathering is very special too. But yeah. Now, the cool thing about the suites, though, is some people, not everyone, you don't have to drink, but some people will drink. And now everybody's going to make sure it's safe. So we have a good community. So nobody's going to tolerate like BS. Trust me. It will. I know that this community will shut it down the moment that happens. It's not going to happen. But because of with some of the drinking that might happen in the suites, you also see a lot of ice breaking. Because you do see the typical thing where people stand around and you might not think you're going to get in that conversation, but someone's going to talk about like that game you played or something that you all relate to because we all share a lot of similar hobbies. So you might be surprised. So it's a wonderful icebreaker. It's a wonderful community event and it's very special. Yeah, Homestay Cure really does want to talk to everyone. He just doesn't know English, and but he really is very welcoming. But you know, you guys can use phones. In China, we use phones to translate. So you know, just like speak into the phone, you speak in the phone, or you speak in and you show, and they speak in their own and they show. We're in the age of translators. We're in the age of personal translators, and it's decent enough. I think any VF game will be fine. To be honest, we haven't talked about that, but I do think any VF. I do think we're gonna support all VF games. To be honest, like if somebody busts out Virtua Fighter, I think Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle, I think it'll happen. So yeah, like I think it's just more like keep it VF. That's all, you know. Though maybe the edge case is maybe Fighting Vipers is where like we're like okay, Sega Fighter's okay because they might not have a home, you know. But it brings it on theme. Now again, the other games can happen, but they happen outside of the ballroom. So yeah. Dude, I like playing VF1. I still like the way throwing feels in it. Once you get used to throwing in VF1, but yeah. Awesome. Yeah, Fence says that they'll be 21, so we don't have to worry about Fence being underage. So yeah, yeah. If you're underage, we gotta, like we'll figure out one of the suites to be the minors allowed if we have a minor there. So that said, most of the time it doesn't happen. Most of the time it's 21 over because the people that are under usually leave, they go home to rest, get ready for the next day, stuff like that. Yeah. Hypergrab, you'll definitely find good stuff to talk to. I've talked to you enough to know there you'll be having good conversations with people there. If Jed is there, 3 team battles definitely happening there. So, oh nice, Kirin Ichiban. That's awesome if that's the salon drink of choice. I personally like Asahi. I like Asahi Super Dry personally. But I'm not much of a beer drinker, so yeah, Chimpan's amazing. We'll see who travels for this event. So we'll see who ends up traveling for it, but we do think there's interest in people that are traveling. I think we're gonna have some international players there, but we'll see. It's actually true that like how like Virtua Fighter has the reputation of being the old man's fighter. It had that reputation even in 1999, and that's because a lot of the fighting game community were teenagers, and a lot of Virtua Fighter players were like grad school in college, and it was really funny. I was like one of the young ones, and I was 22. So no, I was the young one at 20. I was the young one. I was 20. Adam was like 22 at the time, and I was considered one of the young guys. Yeah. So yeah, VF is like eternally old man's game. So it's just I think the challenge of the new Virtua Fighter is to be an all ages game or teen and up because it looks like they're gonna put blood in there. So teen and up, but still, you know. It always did it actually did get a reputation as being like the intellectuals game. I don't try to stress that, but that is the reputation VF tends to get. That was funny when Chimpan ripped his pants after getting second place. That was really funny. Chimpan J is so much fun. Street Fighter 6 has got an insane audience in Japan. Yeah, that is like it's something else, man. It's that is definitely a new milestone. I really believe VF6 can be. I have so much belief in the potential of VF6. And so I'm hoping Sega really like I hope they really swing for the fences. You might as well, right? If this doesn't work, fighting games are dead anyways. Or fighting games are not dead. They're just limited to our age to its pre-existing audience. But they're gonna swing for the fences on VF6, and they should. And I want to see the new Virtua Fighter be that game that changes fighting games going forward. I want that. I don't, even if it's not my favorite fighting game, which I think it will be, but even if it's not, that's what I want Virtua Fighter 6 to be, because I want more people to love. I want Virtua Fighter to live. I want Virtua Fighter to be like awesome, more awesome going forward for a new generation. And that only happens with new generation. And I think Street Fighter 6 succeeded in doing that too, right? In its own way. But I think Virtua Fighter actually has a huge potential to do something crazy. And I think Sega is positioned in a unique position right now, maybe because of Japanese stubbornness and because it is looking at its past as part of its future. But right now, the games industry is in a crazy shakeup right now. And Sega is oddly enough one of the more stable places in games. Is one of the more stable entities right now, right? And you're just like, what? You know, right? Like, it's such a shock, you know. But it's also because they've navigated these last few years like amazingly well, and they're not perfect. But man, do their teams seem aligned. And man, does that company seem like it knows its mission to a degree. But yes, it does things that piss the fans off. And yes, the fans will never always be happy. That's true for everything. But I like a lot of what they're doing. So I have a lot of belief in Sega right now. I couldn't say this a few years ago. I can just say, oh, you know, they're a company and they're doing what they're doing. Right now, like, I see so much effort on their part. I see so much, and I do see them seeing, like, the reason that this new Virtua Fighter got justified was, I think, because it's trying to really swing for it. It's trying to really be something better. It's trying to be something above the genre. And that might disappoint a lot of fighting game players when they reveal what that means. But I think it's going to be a good thing in general. And I think it's going to mean fighting games look different. And why not be Virtua Fighter be the one? Because you know what? Other people felt like they need to learn it anyways. But I think it'll be awesome. But yeah, right now the industry really sucks. Yeah, well, I mean, Sega definitely had its dark period, I think. Or definitely had like rough periods with great people. Now they are looking so good right now. They're looking like they're in a good spot compared to so many, compared to pretty much everyone else, right? you know, even like, you know, even Blizzard, I'm like, how do I feel about Blizzard now, right? I feel like there's a certain amount of prestige that has been lost, you know, even though I do know people that are playing Diablo 2 and playing World of Warcraft, but I don't know many people that are playing Overwatch 1 again, I guess, or Overwatch. But I do like what Overwatch was going for, and I would like Overwatch to do well. But Sega is looking good. Especially the last 2 years looks especially good, but it's all because this has been building up for a while. And we're now starting to see the fruits of all this shake-up and changes they've made and this directions. And it's funny because the direction they're currently on, it's not exactly a quote-unquote new direction, because they've always tried to figure out how to bring back their old titles. It's just that they're not doing the retro game, like they're not exactly doing the remaster approach anymore. And I think that's kind of correct, because I think the market hasn't been paying for the remasters that much, or there wasn't oversaturation in the PS4 era of it, right? And so the community is sick of it, but they keep saying they want those things. But whenever those things comes out, I really don't know if they're actually buying them. You know, like I don't feel like they're buying as much as they say they would, but I do think they used to buy them quite a bit, right? And I think, so I like the path Sega's on, and even though I've heard different stuff with Square Enix, their recent remakes look pretty amazing, but I haven't played enough of them. But the Dragon Quest ones especially, like, oh my gosh. So yeah. it would be funny if VF6 does look like that weird game from Deep Space Nine, but I do think VF6 is being designed to work on pad. I think it's being designed around pad, and that can mean so many things. But I do think it is in an environment where people expect to use an arcade controller. So I don't think they're going to throw away arcade controller aspect to it. It's just that instead of being designed around Sanwa, it's designed around how you play on a pad. And I think that's the important choice to make. And I think that's correct. But I'm hoping it preserves the elements we love. It preserves the feeling that we love when we play Virtua Fighter. That's the most important thing. No, that's the second most important thing. The most important thing is actually that they communicate this and get everyone else on board, and that they can make it so everyone can see blatantly, without excuse, why this is so great. How do we get the player there? That's the challenge that I think they're undertaking. But I think presentation, visuals, and cool factor are definitely elements of that, but not the only things. The gameplay, of course, but also the gameplay loop, the quote unquote single player experience, the making sure that almost everybody that does actually get the game is enjoying it and engaged with it, and maybe seeing a future with it. But we'll see. Yeah. Anyways, that was a fun chat. So thank you all so much. It's almost midnight, so I'm sure my daughter's asleep, but I'm gonna go double check on her. But she's been such a good girl. I'm very lucky to have very obedient kids, and very sweet kids actually. And even though I miss my wife and I miss my son, I'm so happy that I saw my wife sent a photo and she looks insanely happy. And that makes me very happy because I want her to just have the best vacation. She's got a month-long vacation. I want her to have the best one. So, yeah. Same for my son. Yeah, Choya Cup is awesome. So I wish I can go. Yes, let's give a shout out really quick. Super Choya Cup in New York. It's happening very soon. It will be the last hurrah for Brooklyn Arcade. Brooklyn Arcade is awesome. Brooklyn, it's not the fanciest place, but you can feel the heart and the love of the games there, and the commitment and the community and the security. They take care of each other. It's a family. They really have a family feeling there, really. And I go there, and they bought dinner for everyone. I go there. If I go super late enough, there is some drinking too, but we don't say that out loud. I'm sorry, that's on a stream, but but I go there and there's good food. I go there, there's birthday parties for the community. It wasn't as the business model, it was just what they did as a community, which it's cool if it's the business model, but I'm saying they do it for the community. Makes me think about Lionplex, awesome artist, really good graphic designer, good fighting game player, and his love of the game, his love of Street Fighter. So I think I only went there for 1 week, but I'm gonna miss it, and I'm sad that they have to move on to the next chapter. But I'm glad that they gave everyone advance notice so that the community can enjoy it together, and then just enjoy it while it's there, instead of feeling that there's a sudden void. I think that was one of the more kind things they could have done. So yeah, Fence, we'll definitely do a dojo set. Well, you and me, it's a sparring session. You're strong enough that it's a sparring session. So, but I'm happy to talk anything that I think of that comes to mind when we fight. But I do that in all fighting, in all sparring sessions, we do that. If I fight with Deniso 201, I like talking to him about it after. So it's all good, But yeah, we'll have a good session soon, Fence. We will. Man, have a good trip, Guibert. Really. All right, let's find a raid. Let's find someone to raid. So we benefited from some good raids, so let's give shout outs again. LD Wells, Sente, Hectic Fall, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate every one of you. Hectic Fall's been awesomely supportive. They're a little more quiet in the direct communication, but I love fighting their go. I like sharing their tweets, and I enjoy when we do chat. So, man, thanks so much for the support. All right, Calamity is on. Hell yeah. Okay, we got to send this before he goes off. You guys all got to cheer on Calamity, follow him, maybe consider subscribing to him, ask him questions about Lao. DFA Calamity is amazing. I got to meet him in person. I hope you will get to meet him too at LA Gathering. All right, cheers. Let's send it to him, please. Yes, he's training in training mode. You can challenge him to matches, I'm sure. He's playing Eileen. He does play every character. All right. We're queuing up the raid right now. And we're going to support Calamity because he deserves the support. He is an amazing player. Very fun to watch. Very fun to fight against. Well, some people might not have fun fighting against him. I have a blast fighting against him. You guys know that I love fighting against people that are going to beat me down. And Calamity and I go back and forth like crazy every time. So... all right, enjoy. I'll catch you all soon. It looks like all of you are ready to be queued. So here we go. Have a good one and say hi to Calamity for me.